evening, race fans, and welcome back to the Lake Erie Speedway here on the Image Sports Network for the final time in 2007 as we bring to you the season championship for all divisions outside of the Advanced Auto Parts Street Stocks, plus the rescheduled MAARA 100 for the Mid-Atlantic Asphalt Racing Alliance. Good evening once again, Dave Buchanan joining you as always, and once again for the final time here in 2007 on the Image Sports Network. It is a chilly and slightly blustery day here in Northeast Pennsylvania, but we are set to go racing in just a couple of moments. You can see a good stiff breeze coming off the lake this evening, and it is temperatures hovering around the 50-degree mark. So fans are bundled up. The few that are braving the elements here today, there you see some, and they're already in their winter parkas and everything. So definitely a cool one out there, but we're going to heat things up. We got some great racing, including two features for the late models. If you remember last week, we rained out half of our program, so we have a couple features to make up from last week's show, including the final 35-lap points race for the Plyler overhead door late models. So that's what we'll kick our show off with. That field is locked from any of the cars that were here last week, if you caught the program here on Image. And then, of course, we'll close out the show with the MAARA 100, which will include a few, about 8 or 10 extra cars that weren't here last week, but they will take part in the MAARA 100 later tonight. So the field of late models for the final points race for Lake Erie Speedway track points for the Plyler overhead door late models is coming on out. Remember, we were supposed to do twin features last week, but due to the weather, we were only able to get one in. That race was won by Bill Matuzak, his first career Lake Erie Speedway feature victory in a great battle with Jimmy Weller that came right down to the final lap. So this was supposed to be the second of those two races, again a week postponed due to rain, and we will crown our track champion based off of this final points race, and I will get you updated on the point standings after we go through the starting lineup, which is what we're going to do right now. On the pole for this one, out of Clarence, New York, at the Center for Plastic Surgery, number 24, that's the Doc, Dave Regan, and behind him, outside of row number 1 in the Native Pride 99, that'll be Bill Ellison. Row 2 to the inside, finished second in the first race last week, hoping to improve that by one spot tonight. Jimmy Weller out of Liberty, Ohio in the 23, and the 17 of Chris Bailey Jr., the CA Bailey excavating ride out of Pittsburgh. Row 3 to the inside, Mike Hennessy picked up his first career win about 3-4 weeks ago out of Chardon, Ohio. And Greg Hoover, former track champion in Stewart Financial Services, number 91 out of Wattsburg. Norm Taylor out of Parma, Ohio, he is in car 5, and behind him, George Score III in the Southern Erie Construction, number 65 out of Eden, New York. George comes into tonight holding on to 4th place in the point standings, and he can't improve it, but he'd like to hang on to that 4th spot. Behind him, Glenn Galt Jr. in the Snow King 32 out of Hubbard, Ohio. Basically, he is locked in to 3rd in the standings unless Will Thomas breaks early on, and he can pick up, then maybe he can move up to the 2nd spot. But right now he's basically going to finish 3rd in the final standings. Then it is our two championship contenders, the number 9 of Will Thomas out of Sharpsville, Pennsylvania. Will is 21 points behind the guy behind him right now on the racetrack, Mark Bushy Bliss, the defending track champion out of Eden, New York, or Arcade, New York, in the Kayak Pools number 0. Bliss has a 21-point lead, which means if he finishes 8th or better, he will clinch his 2nd straight track championship. If he finishes 9th, and Will Thomas manages to win the race, then they will tie for the championship. And if Bliss finishes 10th or worse and Thomas manages to win the race, then Thomas will win the track championship. The rest of the lineup, the number 1 of Bill Matuzak, the 40 of Scott Bale, the 18 of Bill Catania, the 77 of Nick Ritchie, the 99K of Ryan Kirkpatrick, the 93 of Chris Roberts, the 23R of Mike Reed, and the 40B, that is Jamie Beck. She's out of Jeanette, Pennsylvania, and she rounds out the starting grid for this 35-lap feature. Again, we're keeping an eye on the 9 and the 0 car. Those are your championship contenders. Bushy Bliss leads Thomas by 21 points. He needs to finish 8th or better to have no worries about clinching his 2nd straight Lake Erie Speedway Plyler Overhead Door Late Model Championship. Pace car ducking in. Starter Jamie Sachs looks the field over as they make their way out of turns 3 and 4. Green flags are in the air, and the final points race of the season is underway for the Plyler Overhead Door Late Models. And the Doc, Dave Regan, jumps out with the lead as they come out of turn 2 for the first time. It's Weller and Ellison door-to-door for 2nd, then Hennessy, Bailey, and they're 2x2 behind him as they come down to complete lap number 1. Regan hanging on to that top spot as he's going to try and run away and hide here early on. Leads the pack down the backstretch as your top 5-6 cars trying to get single file here in a hurry. Probably going to take these guys at least a couple of laps to warm up those Hoosier tires on this chilly early evening here in Northeast PA. Your top 3 have gotten themselves single file, Regan, Weller, and Hennessy. trio of white cars. It is the Doc Dave Regan, though, leading the way in car 24. Right now, your championship contenders, Bliss and Thomas. Bushy is ahead of Will Thomas right now on the racetrack, as Bushy is into the number 9 spot. And there you see Will Thomas right there as well. There is Bliss in the 0 just behind Glenn Go. As long as Bliss keeps ahead of Will Thomas, that's another way he can take care of the championship. Oh, look out, Scora and Bailey get together. Bailey gets out of shape, hangs onto it. Scora's going to cough up a couple of spots, though. But we're still rolling here as we complete lap number 5. Back up front with your leaders, Jimmy Weller has taken over the top spot. He came 1 spot away from winning his first race last week. He's going to try and do it tonight and get his first career late model win on asphalt, as he has gotten himself ahead of Dave Regan. Weller in a close side-by-side battle with Bill Matuzak last week. He may have had a chance to win it, but a spin after the white flag had been displayed spoiled his chance of making a last lap run for the victory. Nick Ritchie pulls the 77 into the infield. Looks like motor problems for that car. There you see Ritchie. Looks like he is out of harm's way. He's going to try and bring it all the way into the infield. We'll stay green as we are working lap number 8 right now. Coming out of turn 4, it is Jimmy Weller, Dave Regan, and Mike Hennessy, your top 3. Greg Hoover is 4th. Glenn Galt, Mark Bliss, and Will Thomas right now run 5th, 6th, and 7th. So the 0 car staying ahead of the 9. That's what he needs to do to win the title. There's the battle for 2nd. Mike Hennessy in the tire tracks of Dave Regan in that 24 as we are 9 laps into this one. Jimmy Weller looking for that first career late model win after a near-death experience racing on dirt a couple of years ago. Made the transition to asphalt last season, and now he has become one of the up-and-coming stars in asphalt late model racing in the Northeast. Second generation driver as he makes his way out of turn 4. This will be completing lap number 11 for Weller. Will Thomas now, he's trying to get ahead of Mark Bliss. He knows the championship is still in contention. They're racing side by side right now for 6th place on the racetrack down the backstretch. As Weller starting to put a lap on Roberts. There is Thomas and Bliss. Bliss in the 0, Thomas in the orange and white number 9. They cross the stripe here on lap 12. Thomas trying to get to the inside of Bliss, but he needs to get ahead of Bliss in a few spots beyond that if he wants to win this championship, because right now Bliss is in a nice comfortable spot right around that 9 car, and he can win his 2nd straight track title if he stays right near that 9 car the rest of the way. Thomas trying to get by him as they're still wheel to wheel, and now Thomas is going to complete the pass that moves him up to the 5th spot. But again, he needs to win, and Bliss needs to finish 10th or worse for Thomas to win the championship. And Mark Bliss has never finished worse than 10th ever at Lake Erie Speedway in 2 years of competition. His 9th place run last week, I think, was his worst. Oh, we got trouble in turn 3. Dave Regan, your 2nd place car spins. Yellow is out here on lap 15. He was running with Mike Hennessy. Did not see if there was any contact over there. Dave Regan going around here on lap 15. Tough break. Let's take a look at it. There's Hennessy to the inside of Regan as they exit turn 2. Hennessy slides up just a little bit as they get towards turn 3. And I think the Doc just kind of drove it in there a little too hard, and it came around on him. Cold tires, cold racetrack might have had something to do with it. So Regan will fall to the rear of the field. Tough break. He was started on the front row and led first 3-4 laps before Weller got by him. So we're under the yellow flag here for the first time. Actually, lap 16 right now on the scoreboard. While we have a moment, I want to let you know that tonight's broadcast is brought to you in part by Advance Auto Parts. Wherever you start, finish here at Advance Auto Parts. We're ready in advance. And also brought to you by Career Concept Staffing Services, Erie's #1 staffing service. Once again, special thanks to those fine folks for sponsoring our broadcast all season long here on the Image Sports Network. And hopefully we'll be back in 2008 in some form or another as we wrap up our 2nd season here on Image, my 3rd season working here at Lake Erie Speedway. And it is a blast, even making the tow from Buffalo each and every week, but I don't mind it because of the great side-by-side action I get to see here each and every week at Lake Erie Speedway. Still rolling under the caution. Looks like we're sorting out the lineup under the yellow right now. It is still Jimmy Weller out in front. Greg Hoover now finds himself in the second spot. Our officials have put Mike Hennessy to the rear of the field for contact with Dave Regan. Perhaps there was a little more contact than we saw on the replay. We are 15 laps in, so Hoover is second. Glenn Galt is now up to third. And right now, Galt continues to stay locked into the third spot in the final points innings. And again, unless Will Thomas gets a DNF here, it's the only way Galt could have a shot at moving up one more spot. Thomas is fourth right now, and Bushy Bliss is fifth. And that's a fine spot for him if he wants to lock up the track championship. 5 feature wins on the season. Right now, the 6th spot is being argued over under the yellow flag here between Bill Matuzak and Norm Taylor. And I think they finally just told Bill Matuzak that the 6th spot does belong to him, so he will take that spot in line. Norm Taylor back to 7th, Bill Ellison 8th, George Scorer 9th, and Chris Bailey 10th. Right now with 15 laps on the scoreboard, 20 to go. Coming up next here this evening will be the Dodge Truck Points finale that we did not get to run last week due to the inclement weather. Then we'll have the Boyer RV Center Bandolero Final Points Race, Legends, Jensen Star Collision Crazy Compacts, Advanced Auto Parts Street Stocks, and then the MAARA 100. That is your running order for this evening. Back out of turn 4, green flag is in the air for Jimmy Weller and Greg Hoover. I think Weller may have spun the tires as he got up to speed, as Hoover now is going to be side by side with him out of turn 2, and now Weller, he's going to have his work cut out for him. He had a big lead early on, but now they're all bunched up with him. Hoover, he slid up the track a little bit. Again, those tires need maybe a lap or so to get heated up. Weller, though, has the top spot away from Hoover, is now Galt going to try and take over that runner-up spot from Hoover. Glenn Galt, he wants to get one more feature win before the season is out. And maybe, just maybe, sneak into the second spot in the point standings. But it won't do him any good with Will Thomas sitting there on his back bumper in the number 4 position. Bill Matuzak now trying to get into the top 5. He'd love to round out the season with back-to-back feature wins, as he has quietly moved his way up to the front of the field. Weller, meanwhile, he is hooked up tonight. He has taken off by about 3 car lengths over this battle for your top 5 spots, 2nd through 6th, as Hoover leads that freight train with Galt, Thomas, Matuzak, and Bliss behind him with 19 laps in. Now 2nd, 3rd, and 4th have gotten themselves strung out a little bit, as Hoover hanging on to that runner-up spot, is now Thomas going to the outside of Galt, while Bliss and Matuzak run side by side. Whoa, Galt puts the pinch on Thomas down the front stretch, almost puts him in the outside front stretch wall when they came down to complete lap 20 that time. Usually it's tough to run Galt on the inside, not on the outside, but Galt taking Will to task. Doesn't look like there's any noticeable damage, although Galt's got a little damage on the right rear of the Snow King 32. Not sure where that came from. If all else fails, Galt did bring his backup car with him, as did a couple other teams, including George Scorer and Jimmy Weller, all have a second machine for tonight's MAARA 100, just in case they didn't survive this one. So far, so good. 13 laps to go. Glenn Galt running in the 3rd spot just behind Greg Hoover. Jimmy Weller continues to lead, and that lead is expanding for the young driver out of Liberty, Ohio. There is Jimmy Weller. He's got almost a half straightaway lead now on Greg Hoover, as he does not want to be denied his first career asphalt late model win here at Lake Erie Speedway. Now with 11 to go. Weller continues to lengthen that lead. There you see the margin over Hoover, Galt, Thomas, and Bliss. Now with 10 to go. Some of the guys look like trying to take it easy. A lot of single foul racing we have here. As these guys know they still have another 100-lap race to run tonight. But now Galt creeping up on the back bumper of Greg Hoover, as he wants to take over that 2nd spot. And there you see Thomas and Bliss still running 4th and 5th. Down the straightaways, Hoover's got the power, but he has a hard time in the turns. That car does not want to get through turn 4. That time it looked a little bit better, didn't push up like it had been doing earlier in the race. 8 laps to go now. Weller exits turn 2. He's going to put another lap on the 93 of Roberts. Before too long, as now with 7 to go. And Weller will duck underneath Roberts, and he won't get give him much issue as he tiptoes on by to put him a lap down. Battle for 6th as George Skora pressuring Bill Matuzak for that spot on the racetrack. And Norm Taylor also creeping up there. Skora in a tight battle for some of those top 5 points positions. He had 392 points coming into tonight and was about 13 points ahead of Norm Taylor to keep that 4th spot in the standings. Now Matuzak has problems with the one. He slows on the front stretch. So Skora will pick up that position by default, as not sure what's wrong with the Upstate Chevrolet number 1 of Billy Bob Matuzak. Meanwhile, Jimmy Weller has 4 laps to go. 4 laps from his first career Lake Erie Speedway win. Plenty of room behind him, plenty of room in front of him, now as he has 3 circuits remaining. Started up front and took off right from the get-go, getting by Dave Regan early in the race, and he has been on a tear since the drop of the green flag. Jamie Sachs puts up the parallel flags, 2 to go for Weller. Weller down the backstretch, lap and a half to go. He'll see the white flag this time by still nobody within 6 or 7 car lengths of him, as he just has to survive 1 more lap around the 3/8 mile oval. Down the backstretch, there's the battle between Thomas and Bliss, but it's not going to matter unless Bliss blows up here on these last 2 corners. Checkered flag is in the air. Jimmy Weller gets his first Lake Erie Speedway win. Greg Brewer for 2nd, Galt for 3rd, Will Thomas 4th, Mark Bliss finishes 5th, and he's your late model track champion for the 2nd straight season. Then it's Skora, Taylor, Bale, Hennessy, Ellison, and Regan. That's about your unofficial top 10 there. So Jimmy Weller III, congrats to that young man. He gets his first career late model win here at Lake Erie Speedway. And Mark Bushy Bliss becomes the first ever repeat late model champion in Speedway history, as he will be crowned 2007 Plyler Overhead Door late model track champion once again here at Lake Erie. So Weller on a well-deserved victory lap, and Bushy also going to celebrate down there in victory lane. So back-to-back first-time feature winners to finish off the point season as well, 3 altogether if you include Mike Hennessy's win earlier this year. That's a pretty good run, 3 first-time winners and 2 in a row. And that'll shape up the field for 2008. When we come back, it will be the final points race for the Dodge trucks. You're watching NASCAR Whelen All-American Series Racing from the Lake Erie Speedway on the Image Sports Network, Erie's leader for live local sports.
The nice weather is finally here, so now is the time to start thinking about those upcoming painting, roofing, and remodeling needs. Here at Brandell Painting and Services, we've been in business for over 35 years. So whatever your plans are this summer for your home or business, we can handle any job, large or small, and stand behind our work. So why not pick up the phone and call your hometown fussy people pleasers for your free estimate today at 459-2856.
Need tires or auto service? Then trust your car or truck to the Total Car Care professionals at Conway and O'Malley Tire and Gemini Auto Service Centers. From tires to tune-ups, Conway and O'Malley will get it done right the first time. You'll always get the complete price with total tire pricing and quality tires to fit any budget from Goodyear, Dunlop, Kelly, General, Firestone, Michelin, Goodrich, Uniroyal, and more. No one stocks more tires in Erie than Conway and O'Malley, and they'll match or beat any price. Conway and O'Malley Tire and Gemini Auto Service Centers.
We've got more new vehicles introduced for 2007 that get over 30 miles per gallon than any other car company in the world. Here at Humes, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge Truck, and Sprinter in Waterford. Like Dodge Caliber. Caliber proves that a gas-saving car can be fun to drive, look great, and offer class-leading safety. Caliber pulls ahead with best-in-class horsepower up to 35 miles per gallon, and its styling is distinctively Dodge, bold, not boring. Come see it at Humes today, only 9 miles south of Mill Creek Mall on Peachtree in Waterford.
Career Concepts was recently voted the #1 staffing service in Erie County. Here's why.
Career Concepts handles all of our recruiting needs, from manufacturing jobs to executive positions, and we've been working together for over 35 years.
Career Concepts has always been responsive to our needs, even on short notice. Many of our full-time employees have started out as temps to hire.
They just helped us update our database. This was a major project
results were impressive. Call today and let us show you how to maximize your business.
Welcome back to the Lake Erie Speedway here on the Image Sports Network. Dodge trucks rolling out for their season finale of the 2007 campaign. And this is their final points race because it was rained out last week. And then we'll take a look at my handy-dandy Dodge truck point standings to give you an update on where we are. Dana Nova comes into tonight with a 48-point lead. So he's pretty much got it locked up by taking the green flag tonight. But close battle for second on back. We'll get to those in a moment. Here's your starting lineup on the pole. It looks like it's going to be the 00 of Victor Earl Sr. in the Amsoil 00 truck. Sean Wood also up there in the 84 out of Corey. The 15 of Tony Morato out of Asheville, New York. The 18 of young Eric Redmond, the Career Concepts Jensen Tire Collision number 18 truck out of Girard, PA. The 99 moving into position, Josh John, the Native Pride 99 out of Versailles, New York. Nick Cressy, the Auto Wrench Connection 07 out of Gowanda. Tim Card, the number 5 truck out of Asheville, New York. And Dana Nova in the 96 will clinch the track championship just by taking the green flag here in this 20-lap feature. And I do not see Tim Card's son, Ryan, out there. He did have his truck earlier tonight, but looks like they may have had problems during practice. White flag is coming out. Tim Card sits second in points with 499, just 1 point ahead of Nick Cressy, so we'll be keeping an eye on that battle. Josh John is fourth with 457. Eric Redmond rounds out the top 5 with 449, so just 8 points separating those two as well. So 2 through 5 still up for grabs, but Nova should lock up the title again by taking the green flag. Tony Morato, Sean Wood, Victor Earl, Jeremy Holbrook, and Nick Nisnik round out your top 10 in truck points here as we get ready to take the final green flag of the year for the Dodge trucks. Green is out. Oh, Sean Wood misses a step there as we get up to speed. And Nick Cressy had to drop anchor as well. But we're off and running, and it might be 3 wide down the backstretch here with Morato, John, and Card. Look out. No, we get in the line, though. Card backs out of it. Smart move on his part as Victor Earl will lead here on lap 1. Josh John now slides into the number 2 spot. And now it's Morato and Card. Oh, and Morato sideswipes the backstretch wall after a little run-in with the 5 truck at Card. As he's been kind of all over the place since the start of the green flag. Doesn't look too worse for where as he came by there on lap 2. As now John is going to start to pressure the 00 of Victor Earl. John to the outside. They'll go wheel to wheel. Again, John trying to hang on to 4th in the standings over Eric Redmond. He'll get a little boost if he can lead a lap because that means 5 bonus points for him. And I think Tony Morato did do some kind of damage when he slapped the backstretch wall as he is slowing down there at the back of the field. But he pulls back out on the racetrack, so he's going to keep and try and run some more laps, but definitely the truck not up to full speed. Back up front, we got a 3-truck battle for the lead as John now has the top spot from Victor Earl, and here comes Card on the outside with Nick Cressy just behind him as they battle for second in the point standings. 5 laps in, 15 to go. Tim Card down to the outside of Earl once again with Nick Cressy back there. Card trying to pull alongside and complete the pass. But Earl hanging on at least for now. Nick Cressy hanging back there as well. He looks to the bottom as they get back to turn 3. This time by will complete lap 7, 13 to go. Now Card looks to have that second spot firmly in his grasp as Crassy's going to try and follow him on the outside. But Victor Earl gets in between those 2 trucks. 8 in, 12 to go. Cressy tries to tuck underneath Earl once again. Gets a run now going into turn 3, but Earl drives it in hard, keeps the spot on the outside now with 11 to go. And Dana Nova starting to creep into your picture in that battle for third. He'd like to cap off the season with 1 more feature win. He's got 2 already. He'd like to go for the hat trick as the cross flags are in the air, 10 in, 10 to go. here in your Dodge Truck Points finale. Josh John, your leader in the Native Pride, 99. Has about a 5-6 truck length lead over Tim Card, who's in second, as I think Tony Morato finally going to call it quits in the 15 truck. Crassy and Earl still side by side for that third spot, as Crassy trying to keep up with Card. And there you see Dana Nova back there in the 96. Crassy completes the pass now on Earl, and Nova going to try and go with him as we have 7 to go. Crassy now going to see if he can try and reel in Tim Card, as again 1 point separates the 5 and the 07 trucks for second in the standings. Dana Nova now into the 4th spot. He knows the championship is his, but he's not done, as he's trying to pick up one final feature win before the season is complete. 5 to go this time by, though, for Josh John, as his lead is still about 8-10 truck lengths over the 5 truck of Tim Card. There you see the margin between your top 2 trucks. John in the yellow 99, Tim Card in second, then Crassy and Nova creeping into your picture on the far right with 4 to go. Yellow flag is out. Tony Morato has stopped on the track over in turn 2. He had pulled it in the infield, tried to come back out, but it looks like that truck is going to be unable to continue. So that'll bunch the field up here for the final 4 laps. And that leaves these points standings in doubt for just a little bit longer. Dana Nova becomes the 4th different truck division champion here at Lake Erie Speedway. Al Fisher had won the championship the last 2 seasons. He had moved up to the late models, but suffered a hand injury Labor Day weekend at Holland Speedway. Gary Eicher was the champion in 04 and 02, and Western New York driver Brandon Metz was the champion back in 2003. So again, Dana Nova will become the 4th different truck champion in the 6 seasons of competition here at Lake Erie Speedway. Again, Bliss, as he clinches the late model championship, becomes the first repeat champion in that division. Greg Hoover won the inaugural championship in 02, then Glenn Galton in 03, Todd Honick in 04, and Jay Summers in 05. Take another look. This is what happened to Tony Morato earlier in the race, as he slapped the backstretch wall with that 15 truck. And that was like on lap 1 or 2, and it affected his truck for the rest of the way. While they try and get the 15 truck off the track, we could step aside here for about 30 seconds as you're watching NASCAR Whelen All-American Series racing from the Lake Erie Speedway on the Image Sports Network, Erie's leader for live local sports.
Erie Otter season tickets are now on sale at last year's prices. Catch the high-flying, hard-hitting, affordable family entertainment and reserve your seats today. Season ticket holders enjoy outstanding benefits, including personalized season ticket books, free preseason game tickets, unused ticket redemption, merchandise discounts, and lots more. Don't miss a moment of the action as the Otters continue their evolution into a championship contender. Reserve your season tickets today by calling 814-455-7779, or for more information, visit ottershockey.com.
Welcome back to the Lake Erie Speedway here on the Image Sports Network. Tony Morato looks like a right rear flat for the 15 truck is his problem, but he will get pushed back to the pits. We still have 4 to go, and your top 4 trucks in the point standings will settle this final points race, with Josh John leading in the 99, Tim Card in the 5 and 2nd, Nick Crassy 3rd, Dana Nova 4th as he has clinched the track championship, Victor Earl the 00, Eric Redmond in the 18, and Sean Wood in the 84. Coming up next will be the season finale for the Boyer RV Center Bandolero division. And still to come tonight, the points finale for the Jensen's Turret Collision Crazy Compact. The Advanced Auto Parts Street Stocks, their points championship was decided last week. When it rained, we were on lap 11 of their 20-lap feature, so since we were past halfway, the race was declared official. Rick Henry was credited with the win, and Eric Hadley clinched his first career track title in the division, but the Street Stocks are here one last time for basically a race for bragging rights And they will be a part of the program tonight. And they will be our next to last race here on the broadcast right before the MAARA 100. Field coming back to the green flag. They're all bunched up. We'll see what happens. 4 to go. Green flag is back in the air. And Card, he goes right to work, looking to get to the inside of Josh John. He wants those 5 bonus points and separate the gap between himself and Nick Crassie. But John hangs on to the top spot, but he runs a groove up the racetrack. Card trying to take a look down low, but John hanging on to the top spot, at least for now. Card again to the bottom. But John gets a good run out of turn 2, and he looks to pull away now from the 5 and 07 trucks. Parallel flags out this time by 2 to go. Top 4 stay grouped together now as John trying to stretch out the real estate just a little bit over the rest of the field. Lap and a half remaining. White flag is in the air. Final time around for Josh John, looking for his 3rd truck win of the season. Exiting turn 2 one last time. He's got some ground on Card. Into 3 and 4. Card's going to make one final effort, but it won't be enough. Josh John gets his 3rd win of the year. Card will get 2nd. Crassie for 3rd. Nova, Earl, Redmond, and Sean Wood will round out your finished order. So Dana Nova clinches the championship, and Tim Card locks up 2nd in the point standings. And Josh John, he will solidify his spot with the 4th spot in points, just behind Card and Crassie, and Eric Redmond unofficially rounds out your top 5 in final points for the Dodge trucks. So Josh John is your final feature winner, and Dana Nova is your track champion. They're on their way to victory lane. When we come back, it'll be the Boyer RV Center Bandolero points finale, and we'll crown their track champion when we come back. Here as you're watching NASCAR Whelen All-American Series racing from the Lake Erie Speedway on the Image Sports Network, Erie's leader for live local sports.
Spending time with your family. That's the idea at Fame RV Center ever since my uncle built his first truck camper back in '68. Through all the generations, from travel trailers, fifth wheels, tent campers, park models, you name it. Our intention here at Fame RV Center is to give you a quality trailer that your family will love. The newest is a super lightweight Zeppelin travel trailer, built with all the features that make RVing a carefree experience. Let our family here at Fame show your family how to have more fun. We're Fame RV Center from Sagertown, PA.
The historic Puffer Belly restaurant in downtown Erie is the perfect place to stop any day of the week. Drop by for Sunday brunch and enjoy a made-to-order omelet or a Belgian waffle with fresh fruit, or choose from a large selection of delectable desserts. Stop by Tuesday for that important business lunch or after the game on Wednesday. Or how about cocktails before the show on Saturday? Whatever day you're looking for great food and a great time, look to the Puffer Belly Restaurant, 414 French Street in downtown Erie.
Career Concepts was recently voted the #1 staffing service in Erie County. Here's why.
Career Concepts handles all of our recruiting needs, from manufacturing jobs to executive positions, and we've been working together for over 35 years.
Career Concepts has always been responsive to our needs, even on short notice. Many of our full-time employees have started out as temps to hire.
They just helped us update our database. This was a major project and the results were impressive.
Call today and let us show you how to maximize your business.
Some people think that RAS and RAS Auto stands for Really Awesome Service, or it could stand for Repaired and Safe. Well, that is certainly true. It's also my last name. Hello, I'm Dave Raz. We have been repairing vehicles for Erie and Erie County since 1950. Whether it's a scratch or dent or a major collision repair, Raz Auto Body can do it all. Next time your vehicle needs special attention, call us at Raz Auto Body and see for yourself what we stand for.
And welcome back to the Lake Erie Speedway here on the Image Sports Network. Boyer RV Center Bandoleros on the track for the final time in 2007. As they have a, I believe, 15-lap feature. That is correct. 15 laps on the pole. Brody Wood in the 69 alongside Justin Campbell in the 77. Justin out of Cincinnati. Brandon DeBroccolier in the 1 out of Mill Village. The 742, Nate Carlson. out of Erie, Blake Klabitz in the 39. Out of Corey, the 3 is Zach Carter out of Hiram, Ohio. The 23 of Mike Reed Jr. The 55, that is Jesse Carilla out of transfer. The 21 of Alexis Wilson, and the 17 of Michael Walker out of McKeesport. That's your starting lineup. Your points leader is Nate Carlson in the 742. He has a 29-point lead over Brandon DeBrocolier. Green flag is in the air. So Carlson, all he's got to do is stay in front of DeBrocolier to clinch his first career championship in the division. It is Justin Campbell, though, leading the field down the backstretch for the very first time, with Carlson in tow. And Carlson, he is probably going to be very determined to clinch the track title, as he already has 4 feature wins on the year, looking for 5. But it is Justin Campbell leading the way. Campbell already has 1 feature win this year, but he's only been here once. It's only his second appearance of the year, so he's looking to stay perfect on the season here at Lake Erie Speedway, I guess. He leads Carlson down the backstretch in that purple 77. Trouble out at turn 2. Brody Wood has gone around in a ring in the 69 car, and yellow is out. And problems for Alexis Wilson in the 21 as well. Yellow is out here on lap 3 of 15. As the yellow flag comes out, gives me a chance to remind you folks at home that tonight's broadcast is brought to you in part by Advance Auto Parts. Wherever you start, finish here. Advance Auto Parts, they're ready in advance. And also brought to you by Career Concept Staffing Services, Erie's #1 staffing service. Take another look at what happened to Brody Wood in the 69. Keep an eye on that first white car. White car on your left side of your picture. Actually, it is the Carilla 55 that originally brings out the caution. So Brody must have spun after that. Jesse Carilla making his first career feature start here at Lake Erie. Brought the car out for the first time last week. So Carilla spun, and then Brody Wood must have spun just ahead of him over in turn 2. Regardless, both cars going to the rear of the field. Alexis Wilson, she has pulled into the infield. Looks like it's going to be not a happy ending to her rookie season here in this division. She comes into tonight 4th in points, 15 ahead of Zach Carter. So Carter might have a chance to move up. Oh, and that definitely does not look good for the 55 with the left rear rolling in a non-normal fashion, abnormal fashion. So I believe they're going to send that car off with the left rear obviously something amiss. Staying under the yellow flag at least for now. Justin Campbell leads the field in the 77. And Nate Carlson on the outside. Of course, it is the final race night here of the 2007 campaign at Lake Erie Speedway, but still some racing around Northeast, or in the Northeast region of the country, that is, not Northeast Pennsylvania, but the Northeast region still in the coming week through September and October. I know myself will be headed up to the Oswego Speedway next weekend for the Sunoco Race of Champions, and I believe some of our late model teams will be heading up there. And then also the week after that, U.S. Open at Lancaster Raceway Park near Buffalo. Also has a big modified and late model race. So we'll be trying to get our racing thrills in before the snow flies. Of course, hockey season's just around the corner, though, luckily. The Erie Otters starting up in the OHL, and of course my hometown Buffalo Sabres. They're getting started up very soon as well, so plenty of other sports to distract us during the winter months. And of course the NASCAR chase for the Nextel Cup just getting underway as well. Pace car ducking back into the infield. We're getting back to green flag racing with 12 to go. Justin Campbell gets a good jump here on the restart. So does Zach Carter in the 3. And Carter will take over the number 2 spot from Carlson. as Campbell leads him out of turn 4. Carter on the chase. Zach Carter's got 4 feature wins. The only reason why he's not in the thick of the points race is he's not been a weekly competitor here. He's taken a few weeks off this season, so that's kept him out of the chase for the championship in this class, but he's still 5th in the point standings at the beginning of this event. And he can surpass Alexis Wilson for 4th with her car sitting in the infield, and him right now running in 2nd. He could pick up enough points to pass her, possibly. So not bad for missing 3-4 races during the season. He is tracking Justin Campbell down right now in that 77 car still, along with Nate Carlson, who's looking to clinch the track championship. 6 laps in, 9 to go. Carter is less than a Bandolero length behind Campbell. As Carter looks to the inside, but Campbell manages to stay out in front. As we have 7 on the board, 8 to go. Nate Carlson sitting back there in the catbird seat in 3rd with the 742, but it's Campbell and Carter leading the field. Carter trying to get a run. He gets him down the straightaways, but I think Campbell gets through the corners a little bit better than the 3 car does. Cross flags that time by. And now Carter looks to get a nose underneath Campbell. Little contact loosens him up, but Campbell saves it. But now Carter's got plenty of room on the inside, but he backs out of it. I think he was being the good competitor there and not passing him after getting him loose there out of turn 2, but he's going to try now on the front stretch to take the lead. But Campbell hangs on. Now Carlson, he's trying to battle back and regain the number 2 spot from the Carter car. Carlson to the inside of Carter. And they're wheel to wheel, and Nate Carlson right now has the 2nd spot back, at least for the moment. This allows Justin Campbell to open up his lead a little bit more over this battle for the number 2 spot. Out of turn 4, there'll be just 4 laps to go for Justin Campbell, Cincinnati, Ohio driver, looking for his 2nd win of the year here at Lake Erie Speedway in the Boyer RV Center Bandoleros. A couple of lap cars might get in the way for your leaders now with 3 to go, as Campbell's lengthened his lead to about 8 Bandolero lengths over Nate Carlson and Zach Carter. And Campbell pulls up on Mike Reed Jr. Reed lets the leader go by. Parallel flags in the air this time by. 2 to go for Campbell, Carlson, and Carter. Lap and a half remaining. 3 C's at the front of the field. And now as they come out of turn 4, white flag is out for the purple number 77 at Justin Campbell. Jack Carter's going to challenge Nate Carlson one last time for that runner-up spot now. But it is Campbell. Oh, and contact between your top 2. Carter and Carlson go around. We're still green for the moment. Checkered flag is going to be coming out. Justin Campbell goes in for the win. The battle for 2nd down the backstretch. Carlson pulls away from the incident first. And I believe he will come home for that number 2 spot. Brandon DeBracalier gets by Carter. And I believe he will get credited for 3rd as they cross the stripe. Carter for 4th, Brody Wood just ahead of Blake Klavitz for 5th, and then the 17 of Walker rounds out your lead lap finishers here in the final points race of the year for the Boyer RV Center Bandoleros. So Justin Campbell, he bats 1,000 this year at Lake Erie Speedway, although he's only ran 2 features, he won them both. And Nate Carlson clinches his first career Boyer RV Center Bandolero Track Championship. Both of those men, young men, will be headed to victory lane when we come back. It'll be time for the final points race of the year for the Jensen's Tart Collision the Legends feature is up next. Then the Crazy Compacts as you're watching NASCAR Whelen All-American Series Racing from the Lake Erie Speedway on the Image Sports Network, Erie's leader for live local sports.
It's a college where students don't just learn history, they help write it. Where forensic science isn't just taught, it's touched. Where physics students gain experience of the highest note. The college is Mercyhurst. Learn more.
Today, Matthew has no rules. Just joy.
I like the snow. The snow tastes like popsicle.
He has no worries. Just wonderment.
Snowball!
Today, my son Matthew isn't a kid who is sick. He's just a kid with a wish to see snow.
My lucky day.
You've probably already heard great things about credit unions. Lower fees, convenience, friendly service, and the list goes on. Well, now you can enjoy these same benefits at dozens of Pennsylvania locations and nearly 2,000 other locations nationwide with shared branching. This network allows you to make deposits, withdrawals, transfers, and other financial transactions at any of the participating locations. So no matter where you go, you can just relax. Pennsylvania Credit Union Service Centers, working together to serve you better.
Career Concepts was recently voted the #1 staffing service in Erie County. Here's why.
Career Concepts handles all of our recruiting needs, from manufacturing jobs to executive positions, and we've been working together for over 35 years.
Career Concepts has always been responsive to our needs, even on short notice. Many of our full-time employees have started out as temps to hire.
They just helped us update our database. This was a major project, and the results were impressive.
Call today and let us show you how to maximize your business.
And welcome back to the Lake Erie Speedway here on the Image Sports Network. A picture-perfect yet chilly evening here in Northeast PA. Forecaster rain did not come to be. We are partly cloudy, but cool, as I said before, here on this final race of the 2007 campaign. The sun sets in the west. Legends on the track for their final race of the year. And Justin Hines, he already has the track championship wrapped up, but still other points battles yet to be completed. Here's the starting lineup. John Walker in the 81 will be on the pole, then Jim Alexander in the deuce. J.P. Weiser in the 17, out of Pittsburgh inside of row 2, and then Bob McQuiston in the 67. The 14 act, that'll be Eric Hamill. And then the number 9, Larry Legend, Larry Acabone out of Erie. The 25 of Steve Sunday picked up his first career win not too long ago. He's out there in the 25 out of DeWittville, New York. The 8 of Justin Hines, the aforementioned just about track champion in the Stewart Financial Services number 8. Dan Weaver in the 38W out of Oil City. The 22, that will be Bill Leiden. The 28 of Dakota Bray. The 5 of Gene Corella. The 39 of Jeremy Hodricourt. And the 21 of young Patrick Leiden out of Erie. That is your starting lineup for the final Legends feature of the season. And it is 25 laps in distance. Justin Hines, 594 points coming into tonight, 60 ahead of Steve Sunday with 534, but just 4 back of Sunday's Eric Hamill at 530, so the second spot still up for grabs. Larry Acabone is 4th at 502. He could possibly move up if Sunday or Hamill have problems, but he's safe in 4th at least because Dan Weaver is behind him with 440. Then J.P. Weiser with 411. Jim Alexander, Bill Leiden, Pat Leiden, and Brian Maloney round out your top 10 here coming into the final points race. Pace car is ducked in. They will wind him up on turn 4. Let him loose. Let him fly with the wave of the green flag. Here in the final Legends feature of the season. 3 wide into turn 1. Acabone trying to thread the needle with McQuiston and Sunday. As Walker leads him out of turn 2, bringing Weiser with him. Here comes Hamill 3 wide now with Alexander and Weiser. Now it's 3 wide with McQuiston, Weiser, and Hamill. As these guys bobbing and weaving here on the first circuit of the Speedway. 3 wide action throughout the field. But Johnny Walker leads them all in the 81, but now Hamill on the inside, moving up. He wants to clinch second in the point standings, as he is now on the back bumper, your leader. Here comes Alexander working it back on the outside in the deuce. 2 laps in, 3 wide for the lead into turn 1, and Hamill wins the argument. He takes over the top spot with a manly move to the bottom of turn 1. Larry Acabone now trying to move up. He's to the inside of Alexander for 3rd. Hamill leads him out of turn 4. 3 laps in, 22 to go. Achabone and Walker side by side for second now. And Achabone looks to wrangle that spot away. As Eric Hamill looking for his second win of the season. Achabone, Walker, Sunday, and now Justin Hines, your track champion, is into the 5th spot. He would like to wrap up the year with his 7th win and another climb up that front stretch fence here at Lake Erie Speedway. He is challenging Steve Sunday there, you see at the right side of your screen, for the 4th spot. Hamill and Achabone. There is Hines through the middle between Sunday and Walker to the inside now of Walker as they get into turn 3. Wheel for that 3rd spot as we come around to complete lap 6, and Justin Hines now is in 3rd, and he'll set his sights on the top 2 of Eric Hamill and Larry Achabone. Hamill out in front of Achabone, couple of legend lengths between them. And Justin Hines on the charge, trying to reel them both in with 18 laps to go. Achabone, he'd love to pick up his first win of the season. He's come close a couple of times this year to be denied late in the race. He'd like to play the spoiler tonight. Of course, Hamill, by leading a lap, has picked up 5 bonus points and unofficially gives him 535 for the moment, which is 1 point more than Steve Sunday in that battle for second. And if he continues to stay ahead of Sunday on the racetrack, he will finish second in the final standings behind the track champion Justin Hines, who is now on the back bumper of Larry Achabone for the number 2 spot with 16 to go. Hines, inside, outside, which way is he going to go? To the outside now in turn 3. Justin Hines on the outside, wheel to wheel with Achabone at the stripe. Hines looks to have the runner-up spot in his grasp, and he completes the pass in turns 1 and 2. So now Hines setting his sights on the leader. Eric Hamill in the 14X. Hamill, Hines, 1 and 2. Trying to reel him in. Looks to the outside now in turn 3. But for now, Eric Hamill hangs on to that top spot as we are 1 away from the halfway point. Hines, though, gets a good run out of turn 2. Again, looking to make a run on the high side of the racetrack. Can't get it done just yet. Cross flags are in the air. 13 and 12 to go for your Legends. Down the backstretch, Hamill and Hines run. Larry Achabone is 3rd, Steve Sunday is 4th, Gene Carilla is 5th at the moment. As now Hines, another run to the outside. Trying to pull alongside your leader. They got the lap car of Bill Leiden looming in the distance. And they'll probably surpass him here on the backstretch. They tiptoe around the lap car as Leiden graciously drops out of the way on the apron. 10 to go. Hines still sniffing away at the back bumper of Eric Hamill, but Hamill's going to take him move for move, lap for lap here, and try and hang on for that second feature win of the season. Right now, it's Hamill's race to lose with 9 to go. Justin Hines in his tire tracks, though, still plenty of time. We've seen Justin wait till the last lap to get it done as he again tries to look on the outside groove. Hamill, though, stays out in front. 8 to go. Now to the inside as they get towards turn 3. Hamill leaves the door open. He slips up the track. Here comes Justin Hines down to the bottom out of turn 4, and Justin Hines will take the lead here with 7 laps to go. Larry Achabone, all the battling, he's been able to reel back in this battle for the top 2, but now that that 8 car is out in front, he's going to be hard to catch. And Eric Hamill and Larry Achabone, they'll have to pedal hard to keep up with that very fast young man. 6 to go. And Hines will start to stretch out the real estate. It'll be 5 to go this time by as they'll put a lap on Dakota Bray here in a lap or so. Ducks underneath Dakota Bray now. Completing lap 21, just 4 to go. And Justin Hines continues to stretch out the ground. Good battle for about 9th place on the racetrack right now between Bob McQuiston and Pat Lyden. The 21 of Lyden, the 67 of McQuiston down the backstretch. As Hines now has just 3 circuits remaining. Hines now has plenty of clear racetrack over Hamill and Octobone. Sunday runs 4th. Gene Carilla is 5th. Dan Weaver and JP Wise are going to battle for the 6th spot with 2 to go. Johnny Walker is 8th. Pat Lyden is 9th. 10th as Bob McQuiston as the white flag is in the air. Final time around for Justin Hines. He wants to climb that fence a 7th time this year. He's looking to do it now as he heads out of turn 2 one last time. Plenty of room behind him and in front of him. He comes out of turn number 4. Checkered flags are in the air. Justin Hines makes it a lucky 7 for 2007, and he puts an exclamation point on his track championship. Then it's Hamill, Octobone, Sunday, Carilla, Weiser, Weaver, Pat Lyden, Walker, McQuiston, and Alexander round out your lead lap finishers here in the season finale for the Legends Division. Justin Hines, win number 7, and he's the 2007 track champion. On his way to victory lane, and we will, of course, wait for the obligatory run to the fence for Mr. Hines. Door is already open. As the track crew congratulating him. And he's trying to get unbuckled from the race car. Justin taking his time to get out of the race car. As we sit here with bated breath waiting for him to climb out. When we come back, it'll still to come, the Jensen's Tart Collision Crazy Compact feature in the Advanced Auto Parts Street Stock season finale. He's out of the race car finally, and he's going to keep it off the fence now. He's just going to do a roof dance for us, it looks like. Looks like he's a little worn out now that he's back in school and everything, so he's just going to stick to the roof dance tonight. So when we come back, it'll be the Jensen's Tart Collision Crazy Compacts as you're watching NASCAR Whelen All-American Series racing from the Lake Erie Speedway on the Image Sports Network, Erie's leader for live local sports.
Come in and see what's new inside the Jelly Jar. They have the largest selection of Playmobil in northwestern Pennsylvania. The Jelly Jar also carries a large assortment of earth science adventures and exciting science experiments. Check out all the new Groovy Girl dolls and minis. For the infant and toddler, they have sensory-stimulating toys and wooden puzzles. If you love playing games, the Jelly Jar has a unique selection of games for all ages. And while you're there, check out the Webkins, the hottest new interactive internet craze. All this and much more inside the Jelly Jar.
A little slice of heaven can be found at the French Street Cafe. Enjoy a rich espresso or cappuccino with your favorite sweets and treats. The French Street Cafe offers fresh bagels, scones, cookies, and a different assortment of pastries every morning. Enjoy lunch bistro style or on the go. Make your selection from a wide variety of soups, salads, and made fresh to order sandwiches. The French Street Cafe is owned by the same people who own the Puffer Belly, so you know it has to be good. Enjoy a little slice of heaven right here in Erie. The French Street Cafe, 410 French Street.
The nice weather is finally here, so now is the time to start thinking about those upcoming painting, roofing, and remodeling needs. Here at Brandel Painting and Services, we've been in business for over 35 years. So whatever your plans are this summer for your home or business, we can handle any job, large or small, and stand behind our work. So why not pick up the phone and call your hometown fussy people pleasers for your free estimate today at 459-2856.
Need tires or auto service? Then trust your car or truck to the Total Car Care Professionals at Conway and O'Malley Tire and Gemini Auto Service Centers. From tires to tune-ups, Conway and O'Malley will get it done right the first time. You'll always get the complete price with total tire pricing and quality tires to fit any budget from Goodyear, Dunlop, Kelly, General, Firestone, Michelin, Goodrich, Uniroyal, and more. No one stocks more tires in Erie than Conway and O'Malley, and they'll match or beat any price. Conway and O'Malley Tire and Gemini Auto Service Centers.
And welcome back to the Lake Erie Speedway here on the Image Sports Network. Jensen's Target Collision Crazy Compacts taken to the track for their final time in 07 as the sun continues to set here in Northeast PA. Compact scheduled to run 15 laps here for their final feature. On the pole, the 76 of Julie McAvoy, Bob Fisher in the 75, the 32 of Ty Scouten. Inside of the next row, Amber Belson in the 84, who's celebrating a birthday today, I hear. Rich Miller in the 17M. The 95 of John Breeds. Bob Belson in the 20. Carter Mook in the 14. Ricky Wright, the 00. Dave McAvoy, the 77. Angela McAvoy in the 7. And the balance of the field. Green flags are in the air. Sorry to get through the whole lineup. And we're already 3 wide. As Julie McAvoy is going to lead him down the backstretch. But here comes John Breeds to the inside of Ty Scouten. Dave McAvoy's got, trouble in turn 3. Bob Belson around, Bob Fisher around, and Angela McAvoy up against the wall. I was just about to say, Dave McAvoy has the championship in this division more than locked up over Ricky Wright. 620 to 507. Carter Mook is third with 489. Bob Belson is fourth with 476. John Breeds fifth with 470. Angela McAvoy, who you see there and won the last feature for the compact, she is sixth with 444. Rich Miller, Amber Belson, Rod Hauser, Ken Jackson round out your top 10 in points. Let's take another look at what happened. Keep an eye in the middle of the screen, and I think Rich Miller is going to get his nose pinched. Bob Fisher gets out of shape, tags Bob Belson, and then Angela McAvoy had nowhere to go as she bounces off the back bumper of Fisher and catches the outside wall. She is out of her car right now, I believe. Or not, maybe she's still inside. That might have been one of the safety crew members I saw over there, but she is chatting with the safety crew, trying to maybe get her car refired. The number 7 of Angela McAvoy. She's got she has 2 wins on the season when I get those words out of my mouth. And again, 6th in points entering tonight's racing and the final points race of the year. There is Bob Fisher in the 75. He was the cause of that pile up as he got bounced off of Rich Miller, started spinning, and tagged a couple of cars on his way around, including Angela. So they're still chatting with Angela up there. They're going to stop the field here on the front stretch. That gives us a chance to step aside from the racing action as you're watching NASCAR Whelen All-American Series racing from the Lake Erie Speedway on the Image Sports Network, Erie's leader for live local sports.
Bright lights, family nights, non-stop action. Lake Erie Speedway. Great food, kids meals, more cars than ever. Lake Erie Speedway. NASCAR, asphalt, affordable fun. Awesome heat zone. Lake Erie Speedway. Lake Erie Speedway. Bright lights, family nights, non-stop action. Lake Erie Speedway.
Landscapers, contractors, heavy equipment operators, Boyer RV Center is now your headquarters for the trailers you need to make your business work. We carry landscaping, dump, implement, and heavy-duty deck-over trailers by CarMade and SureTrack. Contractors and landscapers know their tools are safe and dry in an enclosed trailer by CarMade and American Hauler. Boyer RV Center can customize your trailer with ladder racks, tool storage, tie-downs, and much more to increase your productivity at the job site. So get to Boyer RV Center to find the trailer that's right for you.
There is magic out there. No, there's muscle out there, and you will find it at Boyer RV Center.
Welcome back to Lake Erie Speedway here on the Image Sports Network. Dave Buchanan bringing you all the racing action as the Jensen's Target Collision Crazy Compacts on the track for their final feature of the year. 19 laps to go, 1 lap in the books. Angela McAvoy towed off the racetrack with her number 7. She was okay, a little shooken up, but fine. We're going back to racing. Julie McAvoy, her sister's on the pole. John Breed's on the outside as we go back to green flag racing. 3, 4, maybe 5 wide into turn 1, and obviously that didn't fare well as Rod Hauser gets sent for a ride over in turn 1. He's going to keep rolling, though, so he should stay green. There's Hauser in the 56. They were 5 wide into turn 1. Back up front, it is John Breed's Lightning McQueen off and away. As your early race leader here, 2 laps in, Carter Mook in the Mitsubishi Eclipse number 14. He takes over the number 2 spot as he is trying to maybe catch Ricky Wright for second in the points innings, but it's not going to help with Ricky Wright there in the 0-0, ducking underneath Julie McAvoy for the 3rd spot on the racetrack. As about 20 points, 18 points separates Wright and Mook for second right now at the start of the evening. There is Wright in 3rd, Amber Belson 4th on the racetrack. Belson celebrating her birthday today. Dave McAvoy there creeping into your picture, your track champion, and he is looking for win number 6 on the season. Up front, though, it's still John Breed's showing the way in the 95 as he completes lap 5. Carter Mook in second with Ricky Wright in tow. And there you saw the deficit between first to second, a full straightaway right now for that 95 car of Breed's, looking for his first win. Fifth in points, but he can move up to 4th and maybe even 3rd, depending on how the rest of this race goes. Breeds brings it on of turn 4 once again to complete lap number 7. Ricky Wright now is to the inside of Carter Mook for the number 2 spot, and Wright takes over that position. As Breeds puts a lap on Bob Fisher. There is the battle for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. That is 1st, 2nd, and 3rd in the point standings. Your points leader and champion, Dave McAvoy, he is 4th on the racetrack in that red car. Ricky Wright 2nd in points, 2nd on the racetrack in that green 0-0. And Carter Mook 3rd in points, 3rd on the racetrack in the black number 14 in the middle of that threesome as we are halfway through this 15-lap feature. Now McAvoy to the inside of Mook for the 3rd spot as they are side by side, the red car of McAvoy and the black car of Mook. Ricky Wright, your runner up there with 6 to go now. And they're trying to put a lap on Bob Fisher. There is your leader, though, John Breeds. And he's got quite a bit of lap traffic coming up about a half straightaway in front of him, 2 by 2, in fact, with 5 to go. And if this holds him up enough, Ricky Wright might have a shot to get up there and make a challenge for the lead. But he's got to pedal hard or hope Breeds gets held up big time by these lap cars. As he's got Jim Hoffman, Larry Hauser, Rod Hauser, and the 23, Cheryl Ellis in front of him. Looks like most of the lap traffic is playing fair. As now Breeds is going to have to thread the needle between Hauser and Ellis down to the inside of Rod Hauser, and Breeds is able to clear the lap traffic without much issue, luckily for him. And he didn't lose too much ground either to Ricky Wright. We have 3 laps to go for John Breeds, looking for his first win ever here in the Crazy Compacts. He still has a half straightaway lead on second place Ricky Wright, who's now tangling with the lap cars as the parallel flags are in the air this time by 2 to go for Breeds. Exits turn 2. Nobody really around him to threaten his quest for the win, as he will see the white flag this time by final time around for Jonathan Breeds. Out of turn 2 one last time, a few lap cars just ahead of him, but I don't think it's going to matter. He's into 3 and 4 for the final time. And out of turn 4, checkered flag come out, his first win ever in the Crazy Compact. Jonathan Breeds goes in for the victory. Second will go to Ricky Wright. McAvoy caps off the championship with a 3rd place run. Carter Mook finishes 4th. Looks like Amber Belson is going to round out your top 5 finishers. Then it's Ty Scout and Rich Miller, Matt Davis, and Julie McAvoy finishing your lead lap contenders. So Jonathan Breeds, Lightning McQueen, little ka-chow action for the 95. He will head to victory lane for the first time ever here in the Jensen's Tire Collision Crazy Compacts. Somebody needs to tell him where victory lane is, though. And Dave McAvoy also on his way to victory lane, and I'm sure the rest of the McAvoy clan will join him for his championship celebration. When we come back, no points on the line, but some bragging rights, some money, and a trophy probably for your Advance Auto Parts Street Stocks. They've crowned their track champion, but they still have one more race to run in 2007. It's coming up next as you're watching NASCAR Whelen All-American Series Racing from the Lake Erie Speedway on the Image Sports Network, Erie's leader for live local sports.
Knowing where to go for the best coffee or pizza is easy because you do it all the time. But how do you know where to go for auto body work? Luckily, not an everyday destination. It's still easy. Just remember Jensen's Target Collision on West 12th. Jensen's has a large, experienced team of technicians using state-of-the-art equipment so your car is as good as new in no time. And because Rick Howe works directly with most major insurance companies, your experience is hassle-free. For quality collision repairs guaranteed, it's Jensen's Target Collision, West 12th, next to Splashes.
Open and close, Plyler overhead door.
All these homes have one thing in common. They all open and close their day with Plyler Overhead Door. The professionals at Plyler Overhead Door will recommend Clopay, the only garage door to receive the Good Housekeeping seal of approval for residential, commercial, and hollow metal doors.
More people improve the look of their home with Plyler Overhead Door.
Hi, I'm Mike Ruzzi, Sports Director at WICU 12, along with Mercyhurst hockey coaches Mike Sisti and Rick Godkin. Join us for the Mercyhurst College Hockey Dinner on September 24th.
This year's guest speaker is Izzy McGuire, the Director of Central Scouting for the National Hockey League.
There's so much excitement this season with our men's and women's hockey teams striving for conference and NCAA championships.
Tickets for the dinner are available by calling 814-824-2277. Mercyhurst College Hockey, Division I at its best.
And welcome back to the Lake Erie Speedway here on the Image Sports Network. And for the final time this season, the Advance Auto Parts Street Stocks taking to the racetrack for I guess you can say, a bragging rights only race. No points involved, just money and bragging rights to cap off the season. And before we introduce the Advance Auto Parts Street Stocks, want to let you know that tonight's broadcast is brought to you in part by Advance Auto Parts. Wherever you start, finish here, Advance Auto Parts. We're ready in advance. And also brought to you by Career Concept Staffing Services, Erie's #1 staffing service. So here's the starting lineup for the final Advance Auto Parts Street Stock feature of the year. On the pole, Ken Moore out of Jamestown in the 20. Dave Wilson in the 21 out of Hamburg on the outside of that first row. Row 2, Eric McRae out of Corey in the 32. And your runner-up for the points championship this year, Terry Akerley out of Northeast in the Coors Light Silver Bullet #1. Randy Carlson in the 98 inside of row 3, then Eric Bohr in the 17. Dennis Kazaz in the 99, be inside of the next row. And alongside will be Russ Conti, who picked up a win this year. He's out of Falconer in the 83. The 51, that is young Ryan Corso. Ryan is out of Atlanta, New York, campaigns at the Spencer Speedway near Rochester. Actually, Ryan does have a win here at Lake Erie Speedway. He won an Enduro here about 2 years ago in some crazy compact type cars. Rick Henry, who won last week for the first time ever, he's in the number 12 out of Oil City. The 15 of Charles Hauser, the 20 of Bob Belson, and the 10 of Dale Murdoch as they pick it up out of turn 4. Green flags are in the air for the Advance Auto Parts Street Stocks. And Wilson looking to take the jump as they're out of turn 2 for the very first time. Wilson opens up a big lead here on this opening lap. It is McRae and Moore side by side for second as Wilson leads them around for lap 1. Now to the inside, Moore and McRae. Moore trying to save it, he does, as he's side by side there with Eric McRae for second. McRae now moves into the number 2 spot. Then it's Moore and Akerley side by side for third. And Akerley taking over the number 3 position now in the Coors Light Silver Bullet #1. 2 laps in for this 20-lap feature. Dave Wilson, he is out in front by a large margin over this battle for second between Eric McCrae and Terry Akeley. Then it's some too wide traffic for the rest of the spots behind that battle, led by Kazaz and Moore. So you got 1, then 2, and then about 8. 3 wide there. Eric Bohr gets split by Ryan Corso and Charles Hauser in the 15. Now Moore and Corso bump together. Corso in his first street stock start here. He's going to go 3 wide to turn 1 below the yellow line, but he doesn't, he makes some contact with Moore, but doesn't gain any positions, so that's okay. So Corso will have to regroup. He's side by side there with Bohr and Ken Moore as we are 5 in, 15 to go. 3 wide again into turn 1 as Wilson continues to show the way. Dave Wilson, but Terry Akeley is starting to eat up the ground, and that lead that Wilson had built up early on in this race. Still plenty of time with 14 to go. Akeley going to try and chase down Wilson. Eric Hadley, your points champion of this class, did not decide to show up for the final race of the year since he had the title all wrapped up. Won the championship by 28 points over Terry Akeley. Of course, Akeley had problems on the final points last week for their final points race. He blew his primary car in practice, had to borrow Dennis Kazaz's, which hurt his chances at winning the championship. 8 laps in, 12 to go. Dave Wilson continues to lead. Akeley, though, has it down to just a couple of car lengths between your top 2. Akeley looking to the inside. As he is right there by a car length, sniffing away at that back bumper. Really, Akeley can catch up to him in the corners, but down the straightaways where Wilson's able to pull away. Now as we see the pair of cross flags in the air, 10 in, 10 to go for your Advanced Auto Parts Street Stocks. Wilson managed to stay out in front. Akeley on the bottom. Dale Murdoch in the 10 Sport Mod trying to close into this battle. Doesn't factor too much into the way the race finishes though, as again him and Bob Belson with those Sport Mods just out there running for pride and running to help get the Sport Mod division started here at Lake Erie Speedway, which should go full time in 2008. There you see him in third, tracking down this battle for the lead now is Akeley to the inside of Wilson here with 8 to go. Can he get down there and make the pass? Wilson staying up on the outside now. They make their way out of turn 2. Dave Wilson leads Akeley, but Akeley's eyeing that inside line, and Murdoch's going to throw his hat into that argument. As they cross the stripe, Wilson hanging on with 7 to go. And now Akeley pulls alongside, door handle to door handle down the back stretch for the lead as they get into turn 3. Wilson on the outside, Akeley down low. They almost touch out of turn 4 with 6 laps left. Wilson hanging on by a half car length. Wilson and Akeley continue to go toe-to-toe for that top spot. Wilson trying to stay out in front. Dale Murdoch is right there as well. Trying to pressure Wilson ahead now with 5 to go. Wilson staying right there. Akeley down low. Now Wilson pulls ahead as they exit 2, and Akeley and Murdoch bump together for a split second, which separates that threesome slightly as they get pulled apart a little bit now with 4 laps left. Akeley on the chase once again, and now these guys might have to worry about a couple of lap cars before this one is said and done. 3 laps left, and side-by-side lap traffic for your leaders as they're side-by-side as well. This could be interesting. Akeley on the inside, Wilson on the outside. 2 lap cars smack dab in front of them. We're going to be 3 wide, maybe 4 wide through 3 and 4. Akeley looks to have the advantage with 2 to go. They're still side-by-side as they cross the stripe. Wilson and Akeley going at it with the Sport Mods out their back bumper, and Akeley takes over the lead now out of turn 2 with a lap and a half remaining. White flag is in the air Bob Belson is snug up there in the 20 Sport Mod. It won't matter for Terry Akeley if he gets passed by that 20 car. Again, the Sport Mod's just out there running for seat time. They do not factor into the official results. Out of turn 4, checkered flag is in the air. Terry Akeley's going to take this one in the Advanced Auto Parts Street Stocks. Wilson for second. Randy Carlson was lapped down. McRae will get third. Kazans for fourth. Ryan Corso fifth. Hauser, Conti, Rick Henry, and Eric Borer round out your lead lap finishers in the Advanced Auto Parts Street Stocks. So Akeley fell short by 28 points on the track title, but he'll end the season on a high note regardless as he picks up his third checkered flag of the season in that Coors Light Silver Bullet. And we are just down to one. The MAARA 100. It meant to start off our season, but instead it concludes the 2007 campaign at Lake Erie Speedway. That'll be next when we come back as you're watching NASCAR Whelen All-American Series racing from the Lake Erie Speedway on the Image Sports Network, Erie's leader for live local sports.
At Hovis Interiors, we have name brand quality at 25 to 50% off retail pricing every day. Selection, Hovis has it. 5 floors to choose from. Our design experts will help you choose the fabric and color style that's right for you. Formal or casual, Hovis has it. Specializing in American-made, you can choose from over 250 lines of furniture and accessories. Free delivery, Hovis has it. And no interest financing available. Hovis Interiors, Chestnut Street in downtown Meadville.
The sun is shining, so it's time to come on in to Fame RV Center to get your vacation on wheels. Pick from the lightweights from Springer Passport or the mid-size Laredos, or how about the Mac Daddy of them all, the Bighorn fifth wheels. Plus, Fame now carries the Sportman toy haulers, available in fifth wheels or travel trailers. So if you're looking for quality, prices, and good service, should you go anywhere else? Well, you heard it. Come to Fame RV Center.
There's only one place to see exciting NCAA Division I college hockey in Northwest Pennsylvania this season. That place is the Mercyhurst College Ice Center. Men's and women's season tickets are on sale now. Call 814-824-2277 or order online at HurstAthletics.com. The women's 19-game home schedule starts September 28th. The men's 17-game slate gets underway October 7th. Mercyhurst College Hockey, D1 hockey at its finest. Get your season tickets now.
And welcome back, race fans. This is it, the conclusion of the 2007 racing season here at Lake Erie Speedway. It is the MAARA 100 presented by USG, and the starting lineup is rolling out onto the Speedway. And let's get right into the starting lineup on the front row, on the pole from Mississauga, Ontario, making his first career Lake Erie Speedway start in the 27X. That'll be Matt Box. Alongside in the 76 from Madison, Ohio, Randy Holbrooks Jr. Row 2 to the inside from Connellsville, Pennsylvania, in the number 21, currently second in MAARA point standings, Rick Miller. And alongside from Malta, New York, in the 4S, driving for Don 4, it is Chris Ross. Row number 3 to the inside, he just locked up his second straight Lake Erie Championship earlier from Arcade, New York, in the kayak pools, number 0, Mark Bushy Bliss. And on his outside, picked up his first career win last week in the Upstate Chevrolet, number 1 from Arcade, New York, Billy Bob Matuzak. Row number 4 to the inside, another first-time winner. He got his win earlier tonight in the Liberty Steel, number 23 from Liberty, Ohio, Jimmy Weller III. On the outside of that 4th row, out of Erie in the Coors Light, number 40, that is Scott Bale. Inside, row number 5 from Hubbard, Ohio, in the Snow King 32, that'll be Glenn Galt Jr. And alongside from Wattsburg in the Stewart Financial Services, number 91, Greg Hoover. Scheduled start inside of row number 6 from Blairsville, Pennsylvania, that'll be the 45 of Ricky Boyer. And alongside defending MAARA champion and looking to repeat that feat here tonight in the Colonial Metal Products, number 9, Will Thomas. Inside of row number 7 from Coudersport, Pennsylvania, in the number 83, that is Steve Watson. And alongside from Delaware, Ontario, or London, Ontario, Canada, the 4 of Jonathan Erlin. moving back to row number 9 to the inside in the number 17 from Pittsburgh, the C.A. Bailey Excavating ride of Chris Bailey Jr. And on his outside from Jeanette, Pennsylvania in the number 40 should be Jamie Beck. Row 10 to the inside in the number 52 from ERIE in the Interstate Mitsubishi machine. That'll be Joe Bizzarro. And alongside from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, 16-year-old Matt Barnt in the 55. Row 11 to the inside, scheduled to start there out of Eden, New York in the Southern ERIE Construction, number 65, George Scorer III. And on his outside from Ohio, number 93 of Chris Roberts. Row 12 to the inside out of Berlin Center, Ohio, the 99K of Ryan Kirkpatrick, who's elected to start towards the rear of the field, and alongside the number 53 of Jason Patry. Rounding out the rest of your starters, some of the names we missed, the 95 of Kevin Benish from Milton, Ontario, the 77 of Nick Ritchie, the 23 of Bill Goff out of Painesville, Ohio, the 23R of Mike Reed out of Perry, Ohio, the 35 making the long tow from Wayville, New York on Long Island, the 35 of Joseph Burns, the number 18 of Bill Catania out of Erie, PA in the direct buy machine, and the 27 of Mike Hennessy out of Chardon, Ohio. And I believe we're still waiting for the last couple of cars to come through tech. That's why we didn't have every car on the track when we went through the lineup. But 33 cars are scheduled to take the green flag. And I believe just the last couple are waiting to go through one final trip through the tech building, make sure their weight is legal, and make sure they have the right tires on their car. Also missing, forgot to mention the starting lineup, making his second career Lake Erie Speedway start out of Trumansburg, New York, former modified competitor Ben Reynolds, in just his third asphalt late model race. And I believe we're just waiting on Norm Taylor, who took some damage during the heat races. We had 3 heat races earlier tonight. The top 4 finishers redrew for the top 12 starting spots, minus Will Thomas, who is a MAARA feature winner this year. Therefore, he cannot start no higher than 12th. The heat winners earlier tonight were Jimmy Weller, Rick Miller, and Bill Matuzak. Also taking part in the redraw were Chris Ross, Glenn Galt, Scott Bale, Greg Hoover, Mark Bliss, Ricky Boyer, Randy Holbrooks, and Matt Box, and that's why Box is on the pole in the 27. The Mississauga, Ontario driver from Delaware Speedway, which is in London, Ontario, just north of here, directly north if you go straight over the lake, basically. And Mississauga is a suburb of Toronto, which is about 20-25 minutes outside of the downtown Toronto area, which I just happened to be this past Thursday. You can see my New York Yankees in person as they lost to the Blue Jays. Looks like all of our 33 competitors are on the racetrack. Norm Taylor has, well, I guess we're still maybe waiting on Norm. No, he has just come out of the pits. Looks like all 33 cars are now on the racetrack. Again, your starting lineup, it is Matt Box and Randy Holbrooks on the front row, Rick Miller, Chris Ross in row 2, Mark Bliss, Bill Matuzak in row 3, Jimmy Weller, Scott Bale in row 4, Glenn Galt, Greg Hoover in row 5, Ricky Boyer, Will Thomas in row 6, Steve Watson, Jonathan Erlin in row 7, Chris Bailey, Bill Catania in row 8, Dave Regan, Jamie Beck in row 9, Bill Ellison, Matt Barnt in row 10. Those are your top 20 starters. White flag is shown to the field. We'll go green next time by the MAARA 100 presented by USG, the final race of the year at Lake Erie Speedway, the final race of the Mid-Atlantic Asphalt Racing Alliance Late Model Series will crown the MAARA champion as Will Thomas looks to defend his series title. Here we go. Pace car is ducking in. Box and Holbrooks setting the pace, and it's not going to be a good-looking one. Green flag comes out regardless, and the MAARA 100, and we already have trouble in turn 4 anyway. Matt Barnt going around. Those cold tires probably had something to do with it. Yellow flag immediately comes out. And that wasn't a good-looking start to begin with, as the front row was nowhere near side-by-side when they came out of turn 4. And now Jamie Beck has also spun over in turn 2. Watch towards the top right of your screen there. Barnt just going to lose the handle over in turn 4. Probably not enough heat in those Hoosier tires, and that's what caused him to spin. It is a chilly night here. Temperatures got to be hovering around between 45 degrees right now. Okay, I guess it's more around 55 degrees looking at the weather report online here. But it's still a cold night out. Coldest night of the season we've had here at Lake Erie Speedway. That's safe to say. So no laps were taken. It'll be completely redone on the start here. Redo on the start. That's what I'm looking for. And I believe just about everybody except the 55 will get their original spot in the lineup. Matt Box, your pole sitter in the 27X. One of 4 Canadian competitors that attempted to qualify for this race. One of them, Tyler Brown in the 91, blew a clutch during practice and was unable to continue competing, so he never even got a chance to qualify for the event. White flag has been shown to the field. We'll try this again next time. Bye. Still 100 laps to go. Hopefully a better looking start this time through 3 and 4. We can keep them nice and even as they pick up the pace through 3 and 4. Looking good, looking good. Green flag is out. Oh, I spoke too soon as now Goff in the 23 has decided to spin it over in turn 4. And the yellow flag comes right back out, so we can't even get to the start-finish line, it seems, to get this race started. Bill Goff in the 23. Trying to make just his second start here at Lake Erie Speedway in that all-silver 23 car. Hopefully we can get to a few more laps. We get some laps in the books here before we get to caution number 3.
With this final MAARA race of the year.
White flag right back out. We'll try this again.
So it's going to be rather interesting.
Some of the guys at the back of the field need to settle down and try not to win this race on the first lap if they're back by row 10. Try and settle in, get some laps on the board. Lights are off on the pace car. We'll try this again. Line him up through 3 and 4. Green flag comes back out. Well, his third time the charm. Looks like we survived turn 4 at least. Everybody across the stripe without issue as Holbrooks jumps out to the lead here on lap 1 as they race down the backstretch for the first time into 3 and 4. Holbrooks out in front. He will lead lap number 1. Ross and Box side by side for that third spot now. Chris Ross advancing on the outside. Here comes Billy Bob Matuzak. He's on the outside now of Box. Miller going to try to go 3 wide into turn 3. Thinks better of it. As Ross now on the outside of your leader. Here comes Chris Ross on the outside of Randy Holbrooks. Oh, trouble out of turn 2. Box is going around. And he slides back up onto the backstretch. Yellow flag is out here on lap 2. Matt Box, the 27X, was side by side with Bill Matuzak coming out of turn 2, and the car just came out from underneath him. And the Mississauga, Ontario driver not having a good start. Here, take a look on the left-hand side of your screen, just in front of the yellow car. And this car went out from underneath them and brings out the yellow flag here on lap 3. So Chris Ross right now is being shown as your leader on the racetrack. Mike Hennessy has taken the 27, the regular 27 pit side. That is the 27X. Matt Box. Nice short name, 6 letters long. So right now Chris Ross is shown as your leader on the speedway. Holbrooks second, Bill Matuzak third, as our race officials trying to get the lineup situated. As we roll under caution, I want to remind you that tonight's broadcast is brought to you in part by Advance Auto Parts. Wherever you start, finish here. Advance Auto Parts, we're ready in advance. And also brought to you by Career Concept Staffing Service, Erie's #1 staffing service. Looks like a couple drivers arguing over their position around the 6th spot as Glenn Gulp, Mark Bliss, and Jimmy Weller right now 3 wide on the racetrack, which you're not supposed to be doing under the yellow flag. But you know these race car drivers, they have their own opinion on everything, including where they think they should be in the lineup. All right, looks like the 76 of Holbrooks is being reinstalled as your race leader, and I believe we are counting caution laps, it looks like, as they're up to lap 5 on the scoreboard. And while we continue to set the lineup here, we could probably step aside here for about 30 seconds as you're watching the MAARA 100 presented by USG from the Lake Erie Speedway on the Image Sports Network, Erie's leader for live local sports.
Open and close, Plyler overhead door.
All these homes have one thing in common. They all open and close their day with Plyler Overhead Door. The professionals at Plyler Overhead Door will recommend Clopay, the only garage door to receive the Good Housekeeping seal of approval for residential, commercial, and hollow metal doors.
More people improve the look of their home with Plyler Overhead Door.
Welcome back to the Lake Erie Speedway on the Image Sports Network, still rolling under the yellow flag. We are counting the first 3 laps of every caution period, so right now the lap counter is holding at lap 5, with Randy Holbrooks Jr. being shown as your leader, Chris Ross 2nd, Bill Matuzak 3rd, Rick Miller 4th, and Scott Bale 5th. Trying to get the lineup in order is a tall task when you have 32, 33 race cars on the speedway, and every driver, as I said, has their own opinion of where they think they should be in the lineup. And of course, while we try and use the one-way communication system, all the drivers also talking with their spotters on a big event like this, so you kind of have to relay the message through the spotter and then get it to the driver. And sometimes things can get lost in transmission. So hopefully, well, now somebody's getting the black flag because they're not wanting to take their proper position in the lineup, as Jamie Beck in the 40 is receiving the black flag. Looks like the officials have had enough of trying to wait for certain people to get in order. So now Beck will be trying to chat with the official in turn 2 and find out what was the reason for the consultation. White flag finally comes out. And Beck will have to fall to the rear of the field for not adhering to wherever the officials told her to go in the starting lineup. Her husband, Tommy Beck, won the last MAARA event at Motordrome. It'll be a single file restart, which hopefully should alleviate some of the problems we've been having here of getting some laps going. Green flag comes back out here on lap number 5. And Chris Ross goes right to work on Holbrooks on the outside out of turn 2. He'll take the lead from Holbrooks. Here comes Matuzak in the 1 as Chris Ross, your new race leader. Now Matuzak to the outside of Holbrooks for the 2nd spot as they go wheel to wheel down the backstretch. Ross going to try and run away and hide while this battle develops as Matuzak now into that number 2 spot. Rick Miller going to try and follow along and do the same. And the fast lane, the outside lane, looks like it's the fast lane right now, as Miller now moves into that 3 spot, as Holbrooks, he's getting hung out to dry, but on the inside here early on. 8 laps in, 92 to go. Now Rick Miller going to work on Matuzak for 2nd, and Bushy Bliss, he's up to 4th now. He knows the track championship's in the bag. I'm just going to go all out here in this 100 lapper and end my season with a big win. And he is now going right to the front of the field as Rick Miller now now your runner-up car, Bushy to the inside. He'll take over the third spot. Matuzak now back to fourth, and here comes Jimmy Weller into fifth and Glenn Galt into sixth. But Chris Ross still leads them all. Chris Ross in the forward. He's got about a 4-car length lead on Rick Miller, who's now feeling the heat from Bushy. Bushy Bliss to the inside of Miller now into turn 3 as they go side by side through the turns. At the line, Miller's got the lead by a bumper as we have 11 laps in the book. 2 by 2, 4 cars deep as Bliss now to second, Miller back to third, Jimmy Weller now into the fourth spot with Matuzak on the outside. Now Bliss, boy, is he hooked up. He is going right to the front. He has got his sights set on Chris Ross, and he is locked on full bore as he is quickly coming right up on the back bumper of the Malta, New York driver, Chris Ross. In that Ford car, they got to go around the lap machine of Joe Burns from Long Island, regular at the Mountain Speedway, which is on the far other end of Pennsylvania. Now Bliss to the inside. They make contact in turn 4, but Jimmy Weller has spun in turn 4 as well. Yellow is out here on lap 14. Jimmy Weller the third, who picked up his first career win earlier tonight, spinning in turn 4. Was running about the fourth spot there a minute ago. Did not see what sent him around. Jimmy Weller will get it turned around, a little bit of damage on the left rear of the Liberty Steel 23. We're on lap 14. This will be lap 15 as again we count the first 3 laps of a caution period. And not sure if any of our camera people caught what happened over there in turn 4. Okay, looks like nobody else saw it either. So Weller will follow the rear of the field, and we'll see if our officials send anybody back there with him for contact or if Weller just lost it on his own. Chris Ross is your leader. He took it right after that last restart on lap 6 as Weller heads to the pits with the 23. Probably going to fix up the left rear there on the Liberty Steel machine.
When we go back under green, and talking about Bliss earlier, when I asked him the question about looking ahead...
As we roll here under the caution flag, let's step aside for 30 seconds as you're watching the MAARA 100 presented by USG from the Lake Erie Speedway on the Image Sports Network, Erie's leader for live local sports.
Hi, I'm Mike Ruzzi, Sports Director at WICU 12, along with Mercyhurst hockey coaches Mike Sisti and Rick Godkin. Join us for the Mercyhurst College Hockey Dinner on September 24th.
This year's guest speaker is Izzy McGuire, the Director of Central Scouting for the National Hockey League.
There's so much excitement this season with our men's and women's hockey teams striving for conference and NCAA championships.
Tickets for the dinner are available by calling 814-824-2277. Mercyhurst College Hockey, Division I at its best.
And welcome back as Jimmy Weller comes back out of the pits with the Liberty Steel 23. Quick stop for the Weller crew as we are under the yellow flag still. Chris Ross continues to lead that car, owned by a gentleman by the name of Don Four, who campaigned that car with the number 4, of course, for a number of years. And he and Chris Ross actually competed in racetracks all over New York State for a couple of seasons, and then Ross took over the driving duties for Don Four and campaigns that car for him now. And Ross hits some of the MAARA events and other late model events across New York and parts of Pennsylvania. Actually, Ross 13th in MAARA points coming into tonight. Will Thomas leads. He has 465. Rick Miller is second with 413. Glenn Galt third with 378. George Skora fourth with 327. Matt Barnett with 296. That is your top 5. Not too much is going to change there, as Will Thomas basically should have it locked up just on the fact that he started tonight's race. He should earn enough points to lock up his second straight MAARA title. There'll be some shuffling in the top 10. 6th place TJ Johnson not with us tonight. He'll probably fall a couple of spots as he's got Weller, Matuzak, and a couple other cars that are here tonight behind him in the standings that should likely slide ahead of him, depending on where they finish. We're going back to green, though, on lap 16. Green flag is back out for Chris Ross and the rest of the field. And Bushy's going to go right to work. He goes right to the bottom. He'll stay up on his back bumper at least for now, but that kayak pulls ride is definitely hooked up. Bushy to the inside one more time, but he can't find the racing room just yet. As Ross leads them back into turn 1, 17 in. Now Bushy on the outside, pulls alongside, down the backstretch into 3. Bushy gave up on the inside, going to the front on the high side, out of turn 4. Bushy Bliss, your leader here on lap 18. And Bliss, he's going to be tough to catch now that he's in clean air. We'll see if the guys like Rick Miller and Glenn Galt can keep up with them, as Bliss is probably going to lead a chunk of laps here if he can stretch out the real estate over between himself and the battle for second now between Chris Ross and Rick Miller. Miller to the outside of Ross for second, just behind leader Mark Bliss. There's Miller in the yellow 21. Galt looking to the inside of Ross. They come out of turn 4, and we're a fifth of the way in, and Rick Miller now to the number 2 spot. Now Galt to the inside of Ross, trying to move up to third. Galt plants himself on the bottom of the track in turn 3. As they come on to turn 4, Galt now into the 3rd spot. As your leaders are going to start hitting some lap traffic here in a short while. As Bushy Bliss to the outside of Joseph Burns in his first visit to Lake Erie Speedway. There is Miller and Galt running second and third. Miller's going to go to the outside of Burns to the 35. Now Miller's got 2 wide lap traffic in front of him. Bliss, that is. Whoa, as Kirkpatrick and Roberts get together just in front of Bliss. And Roberts hard into the turn 1 wall here on lap 23. Kirkpatrick and Roberts were side by side just in front of leader Mark Bliss. They hooked together, and Roberts got the brunt of the front stretch wall on the right side. And he went for a ride off into turn 1, and that's where he's come to a rest here. As the caution flag comes out here on lap 23. Safety crew immediately going to check on Chris in that 93 car, the Ohio driver, young man. Joining us about halfway through the season.
Mentioning how Jimmy Weller has such a fast car, he's starting to pick off some of the back markers. As you know,
and track crew still discussing things with Chris. Window net's down, so that's a good sign. Again, that happened just in front of race leader Mark Bliss, as Ryan Kirkpatrick and Chris Roberts running side by side. There is Chris. He is out of the car, and he takes his helmet off. So good to see that he is out of the car and okay for the most part, although I'm sure he's not too happy about how his season is going to come to an end here at Lake Erie Speedway. He's going to survey the damage there on the right side of the 93 machine.
A lot more challenging, take a lot more laps to pick off those positions. He's going to need some caution help, which is what he's getting so far. So, I mean, I'm sure Jimmy doesn't want to see anybody get hurt, but at the same time, he wants to see the
I guess that's one of Chris's family members checking on him, but he's walking around, looks okay. And he may take a quick trip in the ambulance just to make sure that everything is all right with that young man from Ohio. So we've got a little cleanup work to be done over in turn 1 that'll give us a chance to step aside from the racing action as you're watching the MAARA 100 presented by USG from the Lake Erie Speedway on the Image Sports Network. Erie's leader for live local sports as Chris Roberts hits the wall in turn 1.
ERIE Otter season tickets are now on sale at last year's prices. Catch the high-flying, hard-hitting, affordable family entertainment and reserve your seats today. Season ticket holders enjoy outstanding benefits, including personalized season ticket books, free preseason game tickets, unused ticket redemption, merchandise discounts, and lots more. Don't miss a moment of the action as the Otters continue their evolution into a championship contender. Reserve your season tickets today by calling 814-455-7779, or for more information, visit ottershockey.com.
Welcome back to the Lake Erie Speedway on the Image Sports Network. Just in time as the white flag has come out. We're going back to racing here on lap 26 after a wreck involving Chris Roberts over in turn 1. Chris was okay. They have towed his car and left it in the infield. He is done for the night. Bushy Bliss, your leader. Rick Miller second. Glenn Galt third. Chris Ross, Bill Matuzak, Greg Hoover, Scott Bale, Ricky Boyer, Randy Holbrooks, John Erlin, your top 10 as we go back to green here on lap 26. See another good stretch of laps in the books as Bliss, Miller, and Galt, three cars that you knew were going to be fast, they are going to go to work at the front of the field as Bliss shows the way. Will Thomas trying to push his way forward. He was 11th there in the restart. Now moving into the top 10. He's going to have his work cut out as he tries to reel in these three, though, as Bliss starting to open it up in front of Miller as Galt applying the pressure to the 27 or 21 car. They're nose to tail down the backstretch. Galt trying to nose underneath Miller. But the Connellsville, PA driver stays out in front. Now Galt to the inside and one gets a good run as they stay wheel to wheel out at two. Miller trying to hang on to that second spot, but Galt's firmly planted himself on the inside of the veteran PA driver. But for now, Miller hangs on to that spot. 30 and 70 to go. Galt and Miller still working it wheel to wheel for the second position. They make their way out of turn 4 as Bliss already into lap traffic. Miller and Galt, though, still side by side. Galt now on the inside. Looks like he'll have that second spot, but they've got a couple of lap cars they're going to run into right here in turn 3. But Galt now firmly in command of that second spot here with 32 laps on the board. Battle is on for 5th right now between Greg Hoover and Bill Matuzak. There is Hoover just taking that spot away from Billy Bob Matuzak, and then Will Thomas just behind them. So Thomas restarted 11th, now up to the 7th spot, 6th or 7th spot on the racetrack since we've gone back to green. Make that 6th. As now they're working through some of the lap cars. 34 laps in. Hoover and Matuzak. There's Hoover in the black 91, Bill Matuzak in the 1, putting a lap on Bill Goff. Will Thomas and John Erlin just behind them as they've kind of got themselves straightened out. It's about almost a full half track behind leader Mark Bushy Bliss as he's pouring on at turn 4 now to complete lap 36. Put a lap on Jason Petrie in the Wiedemann & Sons Construction 53, the Western New York veteran. As Bliss puts him down. And this is going to become the Mark Bliss show, it looks like, as he is out in front by far. Now as he makes his way out of turn 4, his lead on Glenn Galt is about a half straightaway. There you see the difference, the white and the orange cars. There is Galt now running alone, trying to catch up and put a lap on Petrie. As Bliss is going to run into a whole lot of lap cars now. As he's got about a string of 12, 13 cars in front of him starting to line up. And Bushy is just putting down some wicked fast laps. 39 laps in. 61 to go. Bliss now left to work by Jamie Beck and Mike Reed. Bliss to the inside in turn 1, puts a lap on Reed. And hopefully these lap cars, oh, look out in turn 3. Matt Barnes going to go around just in front of Bliss. We're green still for the moment, but he's facing the wrong way. Yellow is out here on lap 41. Matt Barnes, his second spin of the night, he was running in some nose-to-tail traffic just in front of your leader. Guys like Nick Ritchie, George Score, Kevin Benish, and Ben Reynolds, they were all kind of running nose-to-tail, and I think Bart just kind of got bumped out of the way. Lap 41. Take another look here, see if we can get a good look at this. And there Benish, and yep, just kind of, I think Benish got to the back of Ellison, and everybody else did not get on the binders fast enough. And it was, I think it was Reynolds in the 17 or Score in the 65 that got him.
It really happened about 4 or 5 cars back, and then the
16 or 17-year-old driver out of Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, Matt Barnes, who's been a regular on the MAARA series this year. He's run every race and is 5th in points.
Bringing out the caution, this goes for Eastern Simon fans. Get a hold of your tickets.
Sharp-looking ride.
Winner of that autographed
Matt
t-shirt
Burnt.
tonight.
42 laps on the board. We'll probably go up to lap 44.
Good luck.
Again, taking the first 3 laps of every caution period and counting it to our final total. Mark Bliss is your leader. I'm sure he's actually kind of happy to see this yellow flag, or maybe not, but it does get him away from some of the lap traffic that was building up in front of him, as he had about 8 cars to get through still before he could get more clean racetrack. Glenn Galt now perched right again back on his back bumper. Rick Miller shuffled back to 3rd. Chris Ross is 4th in the 4. How fitting. Greg Hoover is 5th. Will Thomas now into the number 6 spot in the 9 car. Jonathan Erlin out of London, Ontario is 7th. 8th is Bill Matuzak. 9th is Randy Holbrooks. And Ricky Boyer, not Ricky Bobby, Ricky Boyer from Blairsville, Pennsylvania in the 45. The Jennerstown and Motordrome regular rounds out your top 10. Sharp looking number 45. One of the nicest late models I've seen come around this area in the last couple of years, and he's got some supporters in the grandstands tonight as well. So we're under the yellow flag here, and track looks pretty clear, so we should be able to go back to green flag racing here pretty soon. And I think we'll get the white flag next time by Joe Bizzarro, taking the Interstate Mitsubishi 52 to the pits, finishing up his rookie season here at Lake Erie Speedway.
$141 richer, and if that is your ticket, same deal. Head on down to the fan information booth and pick up your 50-50 winnings. The other half of that.
And he's just waiting for traffic in front of him to finish crossing the racetrack before he can cut across. We have the cars go through the infield. In case you're not familiar with the procedure, they go through the infield, they cut across to go across to the pits, because it's much easier than trying to have the guys make that sharp right-hand turn up over the banking into the pit entrance. So that's why they have them cross the track like that. And there's actually a special stoplight, a stop-and-go light usually, to tell the drivers when it is safe to cross. Bizzarro's crew telling him where he needs, making some adjustments. There's starter Jamie Sachs, all bundled up there on the flag stand. Any intermission we've had tonight, he's chugged right back up here to the tower to warm up as best he can whenever we've had a pause here tonight. But he's toughing it out there on the flag stand. No gloves. Well, hopefully his hands are staying warm. He's waving the white flag. We're going to go back to green flag racing next time by on lap 44. Again, 44 laps. We'll be on the board and we go back to green. Pace car ducking in. Mark Bliss back in control of this field as they pick up the pace one more time on of turn 4. Green flag goes back into the air. Galt and Miller, your top 3 setting the pace once again. Randy Holbrooks going for a ride on the backstretch, but he keeps rolling. We stay green. Bliss leads the front foursome out of turn 2. Bliss, Galt, Miller, and Chris Ross, your front 4, as they come around to complete lap 46. All your top 10 cars are single file right in a row, led by your 2-time track champion, Mark Bliss. Joe Bizzarro back into the pits with the 52. More problems for him. Will Thomas, he started 12th in this field. He's got his work cut out for him. He's up to 6 right now, challenging Greg Hoover for the number 5 spot down the backstretch. Thomas in the 9, Hoover in the 91. We have lap 48 on the board. Bliss, Galt, and Miller, 1, 2, and 3. Thomas has taken over that 5th spot now. Trouble in turn 2. Steve Watson going around in a ring, and oh boy, head on. It's Kevin Benish and Nick Ritchie having a meeting of the minds over there in turn 2 here on lap 49. Steve Watson spun to start that, and then Benish spun out trying to miss the 83, and Ritchie had nowhere to go. They make a head-on collision. Doesn't look too serious for either car. Ben Reynolds also stopped up there as well. So we're back under the yellow flag here on lap 49.
And we're almost to the halfway mark, so just not an official race at this point.
One away from halfway. We will officially go halfway under this yellow flag. All cars involved able to drive away under their own power. There you see Nick Ritchie's damage on the right front of the 77, so he'll definitely have to go pit side with that hanging off. Good way to protect the right front tire, but not safe for racing conditions with that fender dangling like that. Nick, another rookie campaigner, wrapping up his first full year at Lake Erie Speedway. Benish looks like he's had the front end of his 95 rearranged slightly as well. And as we roll under the caution, let's step aside here for about 30 seconds as you are watching the MAARA 100 presented by USG from the Lake Erie Speedway on the Image Sports Network, Erie's leader for live local sports.
Bright lights, family nights, non-stop action. Lake Erie Speedway. Great food, kids meals, more cars than ever. Lake Erie Speedway. NASCAR, asphalt, affordable fun. Awesome heat zone. Lake Erie Speedway. Lake Erie Speedway. Bright lights, family nights, non-stop action. Lake Erie Speedway.
And welcome back to Lake Erie Speedway. Once again here on the Image Sports Network. Dave Buchanan with you for the final time here in 2007 on the Image Sports Network. We have 51 laps on the board. I believe we're going to click off 52 here. As there you see Nick Ritchie. He is headed off pit side with that right front fender hanging off. We'll restart on lap 52. And once again, I want to thank all you folks at home for tuning in each and every week to catch the action at Lake Erie Speedway. And if you've managed to venture out here to the racetrack in person a couple times this season, we hope you got a chance to do that as well. And we hope you join us in 2008. Don't forget, you can always call the track office or go online at our website, lakeeriespeedway.com. Or again, the office phone number is 814-725-3303. Never too early to order those 2008 season tickets or start making other plans to be here sometime in 2008 at Lake Erie Speedway. They make great tickets and merchandise, make great Christmas gifts. So again, you can log on to the website, lakeeriespeedway.com, or call the office, 814-725-3303. And also, I just want to thank Joe Lewandowski and all the management here at Lake Erie Speedway for giving me this opportunity to do this each and every week this season, and also Jay Jablonski and all his great crew at Image Sports Network. They have done a fantastic job once again here in 2007. I just want to thank them for their hard work and cooperation for making these broadcasts as best as they can be. White flag is being shown to the field. Will go green next time by. Will Thomas is now your fifth place car here on this restart after just getting by Greg Hoover right before the yellow flag. Hoover back to sixth. John Erlin is seventh. Bill Matuzek is eighth. Ricky Boyer is ninth. And Dave Regan right now rounds out your top 10. The Doc in the 24 car. Jimmy Weller is up to 11th after his early spin. So he's come back through the field. Chris Bailey is 12th. Scott Bale 13th. Bill Catania 14th. George Scora is 15th place as we go back to green on lap 52. Back to some Bliss and Gulp head-on action here as Ritchie back out on the track, but he's going to lose a lap in the process as we start to work now the second half of this season finale 100-lapper. Bliss leads him down the backstretch. Gulp on his back bumper. These veterans and nemesis have been going at it for a couple of seasons now, with Bliss getting the better the last 2 years. Battle for fourth as Will Thomas now underneath Chris Ross for the number 4 spot. And Thomas takes that spot away here on lap 55. So Thomas slowly making his way to the front. There's Will with Chris Ross, Greg Hoover, and John Erlin in tow. that is 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th on the racetrack. There's your top 3, and then Thomas in 4th. Jimmy Weller now getting to the top 10 as he's ducked underneath Ricky Boyer, and he's racing with Bill Machuzak now. That's for about 7th and 8th place on the racetrack. It is Mark Bliss, though, out in front, putting a lap on Joe Burns one more time. I think Burns is slightly underpowered. He's more used to campaigning at the bull ring that is Mountain Speedway in Bethlehem, PA. Bliss is now starting to open it up over Glenn Galt as his lead is about 7-8 car lengths already. 59 in, 41 to go. And Bliss is going to be tracking down some lap traffic here in just a moment as we complete lap 60, 40 to go. Jimmy Weller's been the man on the move as he has moved up to the 7th, 8th spot right now, and he's chasing Jonathan Erlin around the racetrack. As Bliss working through lap cars once again, putting Jason Petrie got trouble in turn 3. Matt Box and Norm Taylor, Steve Watson all going to go around. Yellow is back out here on lap 61. That all started. Matt Box lost the handle going into 3, and then Taylor and Watson just kind of spun to avoid the Canadian driver. Pole sitter Matt Box has not had the best of runs in his first Lake Erie Speedway start. As he brings out the yellow flag here just past the lap 40 mark. Here's another look, and Box and Bart go into turn 3, and I think both drivers trying to occupy the same spot on the racetrack. Taylor wisely spins out to avoid running smack dab into Box, and then Watson also probably clicked the brakes there and brought around the back end on the 83. Mike Reed just dashes between Taylor and Watson to avoid both of them. And your leaders there just coming through that as well. So a close call for a couple of drivers, but just a trio of simple spins over there in 3 and 4. Matt Box, the start of that one there in the 27X out of Mississauga, Ontario. So 63 on the board. We'll probably let the lap counter roll to lap 64, and we'll be down to about 35 laps, which is a traditional Saturday night feature here at Lake Erie Speedway for the Plyler overhead door late models. As Bliss has led since lap 18 when he took the lead from Chris Ross. Glenn Galt is second, Rick Miller third, Will Thomas and Chris Ross now your top 5. Greg Hoover is 6th, John Erlin is 7th, Jimmy Weller now up to the number 8 spot. Bill Machuzak 9th, Ricky Boyer rounds out your top 10. So as track crew checking out things on the backstretch, let's step aside here for about 30 seconds as you're watching the MAARA 100 presented by USG from the Lake Erie Speedway on the Image Sports Network, Erie's leader for live local sports.
Contractors, heavy equipment operators, Boyer RV Center is now your headquarters for the trailers you need to make your business work. We carry landscaping, dump, implement, and heavy-duty deck-over trailers by CarMade and SureTrack. Contractors and landscapers know their tools are safe and dry in an enclosed trailer by CarMade and American Hauler. Boyer RV Center can customize your trailer with ladder racks, tool storage, tie-downs, and much more to increase your productivity at the job site. So get to Boyer RV Center to find the trailer that's right for you.
There is magic out there. No, there's muscle out there, and you will find it at Boyer RV Center.
There's only one place to see exciting NCAA Division I college hockey in Northwest Pennsylvania this season, and that place is the Mercyhurst College Ice Center. Men's and women's season tickets are on sale now. Call 814-824-2277 or order online at HurstAthletics.com. The women's 19-game home schedule starts September 28th. The men's 17-game slate gets underway October 7th. Mercyhurst College Hockey, D1 hockey at its finest. Get your season tickets now.
And welcome back to the Lake Erie Speedway. Field still rolling underneath the caution flag. It looks like we're just about set to go back to green flag racing, though. As we are working our 7th caution period of the race. Mark Bliss is your leader, looking to capture the second biggest event of the season here at Lake Erie Speedway. Of course, the Hammett Highmark 200 earlier this summer was the highlight of the 2007 campaign. That was won by Grand Rapids, Michigan's Brian Campbell. Although Bliss gave a valiant effort in that one, came up short to the Michigan campaigner. And it looks like the white flag will come out here. Looks like the caution officially happened on lap 62, so we will restart here on lap 65. So it is going to be a 35-lap shootout to the finish here. Mark Bliss trying to hang on, trying to pick up one more win in this championship season. Field gets kind of accordion, but we go back to green. And Bliss and Galt take off one more time. I'm sure Will Thomas will be chomping at the bit here to get by Rick Miller and try and scoot up into the 3rd spot, so the 3 rivals here at Lake Erie Speedway can go toe-to-toe-to-toe one last time. But it is Bliss and Galt right now, your top 2. As Bliss going to once again try and run away from the field. Galt right now sticking with them for at least the moment. 67 on the board, 28 to go. Excuse me, 33 to go. It's off by 5. Galt trying to keep up with that fast-moving Zero car. A couple of car lengths separate him at this point. As Bliss slowly trying to open that lead back up. He is just so smooth around this 3/8-mile oval. Never seems to falter. He can go around the racetrack in either groove, the inside or the outside. Just nothing seems to faze this guy, and that's why he has never finished outside of the top 10 in 2 full seasons of competition. And possibly he has one finish outside the top 10, and that was a one-off race in 2005 when he was racing for the win and got taken out on the last lap. Will Thomas now starting to apply the pressure for Rick Miller for the 3rd spot. With less than 30 laps to go now, Thomas and Miller running side by side. There is Miller in the yellow 21, Thomas on the inside in the white number 9. They're going toe-to-toe out of turn number 4. Out of 4, Thomas has the spot by a half car length now with 28 laps to go. Big trouble in turn 4. It's a multi-car pileup. Jamie Beck, Randy Holbrooks, Mike Reed, Kevin Benish all piling onto each other over in turn 4. Randy Holbrooks, his rear end is piled on top of Reed and Benish. Did not see that one at all. Barely caught that at the corner of my eye with some help up here in the tower to see that one. Benish is able to possibly pull out from underneath Holbrooks' car. Just as we were trying to take a look at some of the other top 5 battling, biggest pileup of the night. I guess this is our big one, so to speak. Benish is able to pull away the Milton, Ontario driver. And not too much damage on the 95. And we're going to take a look, see what happened here, hopefully. Holbrooks, he's going to need plenty of help to get down. He's trying to get out from underneath the 76.
Walt Brown was the winner of the Ford Goodyear tires. So Walt Brown, Bill Patterson, Jim Hartle. Gentlemen, take yourselves off.
Do we have anything close to a replay? Okay, looks like everybody missed it along with myself, but that's okay. No one's perfect. As again, I barely caught the bitter end of what happened over there. Obviously, the cars must have been racing for position. So it looks like we're going to need some extended cleanup time as we've got cars on top of cars over there in turn number 4. We're going to step aside from things as you're watching the season finale MAARA 100 presented by USG from the Lake Erie Speedway on the Image Sports Network, Erie's leader for live local sports.
At Hovis Interiors, we have name brand quality at 25 to 50% off retail pricing every day. Selection, Hovis has it. 5 floors to choose from. Our design experts will help you choose the fabric and color style that's right for you. Formal or casual, Hovis has it. Specializing in American-made, you can choose from over 250 lines of furniture and accessories. Free delivery, Hovis has it. And no interest financing available. Hovis Interiors, Chestnut Street in downtown Meadville.
Eighth caution of this event. 4-car pileup involving Randy Holbrooks, Mike Reed, Jamie Beck, and Kevin Benish has been cleaned up over in turn 4. We are down to the final 25 laps of the MAARA 100 here at Lake Erie Speedway. White flag is shown to the field.
3/4 of the race in so far. 25 laps remain in the MAARA 100.
This should be a good finish, especially if someone like Will Thomas can get up there. Looks like the caution negated his pass on Rick Miller, so he will restart 4th. Here we go, back to green. Pace car ducky back in. Mark Bliss has been really good on these restarts. Green flag is back out, 25 to go. Galt's going to try and stick to Bushy's back bumper like glue. Gets a good run on him down the backstretch. Looks to the inside in 3, but Bliss is there to slam the door on him. But Galt trying to sniff blood in the water. If he can get a nose underneath Bliss, that's all he might need to do it. But he stays clamped down, at least for the moment. Bliss, Galt, Miller, Thomas, your top 4. Bliss going to try and pull away once again. There's your top 4 as they race down the backstretch. Thomas going to have to try and get by Rick Miller all over again. And past him, but yellow is back out. Jamie Beck has spun once again, this time smack dab in the middle at turn 2. She brings out another caution. 78 on the board. So we got 3 more laps in that time.
Just about from about lap 10, lap 15, once he assumed the lead, and that's been his race ever since.
In the field, will be back under the yellow flag. Beck collects herself, and herself. She has multiple personalities, maybe. She rejoins the rear of the field. And hopefully this will be a quickie yellow if we can get everybody into the proper lineup. Ninth caution of the evening. 2 of which came before even the first lap was completed. Looks like the lineup is set, so hopefully we can get right back out here with the white flag.
To be in the right place at the right time and take that position away, at least try to wrestle it away from Bliss. Yep. Glenn is probably just going to do everything he can.
Field will come by for here another lap or so. Bliss, Galt, Miller, Thomas, Ross, still your top 5. Greg Hoover is 6th. Greg Hoover is 7th. Jimmy Weller is 8th. Jonathan Erlin is 9th, and Bill Matuzak is 10th. Ricky Boyer 11th, Dave Regan 12th, George Scora 13th, Chris Bailey 14th, Scott Bale 15th, Bill Catania, I lost count, 16th, Penn Reynolds 17th, Norm Taylor 18th, Bill Ellison 19th, Matt Barn unofficially your top 20 with 22 to go. We'll go green this time by. Bliss gonna mash the gas, make it go fast one more time here, 22 to go. Let's see if he can run away with this. Gets a good jump on Galt that time, as Galt didn't even get a sniff of his back bumper on that restart. down to about the final 20 laps here. Bliss and Gulp stay a couple of car lengths apart. Will Thomas back on to pressuring Rick Miller for that third position. 20 to go. Thomas to the inside of Miller in 1 and 2. Thomas has got the nose underneath. He'd love to dispatch a Miller and get a run here at the top 2 with about 20 laps left, but he's first got to get by Miller. Onto the inside, Miller on the outside. Thomas keeps it glued to the bottom. Through 1 and 2 that time, but Miller running well on the outside line still at this point of the race. They're still toe-to-toe as they make their way out of turn 4. And Miller pulling back on the outside, but Thomas staying with him like on the inside. Bill Ellison with problems on the 99. He goes to the infield. Thomas stays on the bottom of Rick Miller. Wheel to wheel for third place with 17 laps to go. They're still going at it. Now look to duck around a lap car as they get into turn 3. Steve Watson pulls it off in the 83. As Thomas and Miller thread the needle around the lap car of Burns. Still side by side as Ross and Jimmy Weller, who's now serviced to the number 6 spot. He's gotten himself by Greg Hoover as Thomas and Miller continue to do battle. So Weller's had a good recovery after his early spin after running in the top 5 towards the beginning of the race. There is Mark Bushy-Bliss though. This time by, it'll be 14 laps to go for Bushy. And he is stretching out that lead once again over Glenn Galt. Rick Miller and Will Thomas continue to battle for third side by side. And Jimmy Weller now challenging Chris Ross for the number 5 spot. 13 to go. Lap traffic going to come into play for your leaders. Here comes Thomas again, trying to take another run at Miller on the inside, but Rick Miller doing a phenomenal job keeping that car going on the high side of the racetrack. Oh, trouble in turn 4. Dave Regan going around. He's going to slide down the banking and gets clobbered by Ben Reynolds. Reynolds cannot get it woed down fast enough and plows head first into Regan here on lap 88. Caution number 10. Regan pulling away some pretty significant damage to the right front, and Reynolds getting the brunt of that as the Trumansburg, New York driver pulls away with some significant bodywork damage to the front end of that 17R car. Again, making just his third late model start ever. Let's see if let's get another look at what happened. Keep an eye on the white 24 of Regan. He's already spun. Now watch the 17. He tries to slow it down, but nowhere near fast enough as he hits right into the right front of the 24. Reynolds staying on the track for now, but I don't know what that nose cone flapping in the breeze. It looks like he is going to go pit side. He's just waiting to get to the infield so he can take the crossover. So at least a better run, though, this time than his first late model attempt here at Lake Erie. He didn't even really get to start the feature. He had engine problems after the heats and just barely took the green flag and finished last in the Lake Erie 200. And if he can get back to the pits and stay on the lead lap, it looks like they're kind of holding everybody there on the infield. White flag is out. Looks like we've stopped counting caution laps, so we're still on 88. Going back to green. Green flag is back in the air. And Bliss looking to get a good jump once again. Gonna start applying the pressure, trying to stay with him. That's been a hard thing for him to do. While Thomas still trying to get by Rick Miller, now 11 to go. Thomas to the inside of Miller for third. Pulls alongside once again, now 10 to go. But Miller keeps it going on the outside. Nine laps left. Bushy is stretching out the real estate as Miller and Thomas continue to race for the third spot. As Jimmy Weller now trying to pass Chris Ross for fifth once again as they get back into turn one. Now with 8 to go, Weller on the inside. Weller and Ross now side by side here with less than 10 to go. Weller, nice recovery for that young man as they come onto turn 4. He just barely slides over the nose of Ross and takes over the fifth spot. And he's been a pretty good moving car. See if he can get up there and challenge between Thomas and Miller as Bliss has just 6 to go. And his lead already half straight away. It'll be 5 to go, this time by a fistful of fingers in the air from starter Jamie Sachs. Out of turn 2. Bliss all by his lonesome. Half straightaway on Goat and about a clear straightaway ahead of him. No lap cars hopefully have to worry about here in these final 4 laps. Goat, Miller, and Thomas nose to tail for second, third, and fourth right now. Here with 4 to go as Goat has fallen away from Bliss. And he's fallen into the clutches of Rick Miller and Will Thomas, who may try and take that runner-up spot away from him here in these final 2.5 laps. As the parallel popsicle sticks are in the air, just 2 laps left in the 2007 season at Lake Erie Speedway. Out of turn 2, Bliss, plenty of clear sailing as Thomas trying to make a run on Miller on the outside as the white flag is in the air. Final time around for Mark Bliss. Good battle for second and third here on this final go-round, but it won't matter as Bliss into the final 2 turns, your 2-time track champion and winner of the MAARA 100, Mark Bushy Bliss. The battle for second. Galt's going to hang on. Thomas gets third, then Miller, Weller, Ross, Hoover, Erlin, Matuzak, Boyer, Skora, Bailey, Taylor, Barnt, Fox, Beck, Bale, Catania, Benish, and the balance of the field. So Mark Bushy Bliss caps off a championship season as he wins the final MAARA race of the year after clinching the Lake Erie Track Championship for his 6th win of the year here at Lake Erie Speedway. It's been a great season here on the Image Sports Network from the Lake Erie Speedway. Hope you've enjoyed watching these races on TV just as I've had as much fun calling them, and all the great crew here at Image has as much fun working on these broadcasts. Again, congrats to all our track champions: Mark Bliss in the late models, Dana Nova in the trucks, Eric Cadley in the Advanced Auto Parts Street Stocks, Justin Hines in the Legends, Nate Carlson in the Boyer RV Center Bandoleros, and Dave McAvoy in the Jen Sitar Collision Crazy Compacts. As Bushy Bliss doing some victory donuts, as only he knows how to do, as he caps off another banner year here at Lake Erie Speedway. So on behalf of the Pre-Shack family, General Manager Joe Lewandowski, and all the staff and management here at Lake Erie Speedway, plus Jay Jablonski and all the great crew at Image Sports Network, thanks for all your help this season, guys. This has been Dave Buchanan saying thanks for watching, and we'll see you back in 2008.